is a massive presentation.
The Nats dodged several bullets last night against LA. Chad Billingsley had a no-hitter for 5 2/3, but Ryan Zimmerman made the first one count. 90 minutes later, J-Max put them in position to win, and Pete Orr delivered the defining moment. Pete Orr, fly ball, right field. Nationals are going to win the game. A 5-4 walk-off win for Washington over the winningest team in the National League. Some of those heroics last night setting up J.D. Martin's start tonight. And the Nats have won just about 2 out of every 3 of his starts lately. It's Martin for the Nationals. And by the way, this is the rubber game of the season series as well as this series. Bob Carpenter, Rob Dibble, welcome to the ballpark. Nice night for baseball here in September. And a lot of key things added up after things got off to a real slow start in that ball game last night.
Yeah, and you know what? We talk about it all the time. Never take a play off. And last night couldn't be more true. They didn't take any plays off. They were being no-hit by Chad Billingsley. And all the way into the 6th inning, you see this ball out to right field by Russell Martin. And Ethers gunned out at the plate by Elijah Dukes. And then we would come back, a couple of walks, and then the home run. So all of that early defense and the great play by the Nationals kept them in this ball game when it looked like they were not going to win this ball game and score any runs. Then all of a sudden, you see the hustle of Adam Dunn, the hustle of Christian Guzman on another play, on an error by an all-star second baseman with a couple of gold gloves. And then things didn't go our way on a bad throw by Christian Guzman, but he would come back and make a brilliant throw to save that inning and keep it at 4-4. Justin Maxwell gets on base hit. See the great sacrifice by Gonzalez, and then Maxwell steals a bag, and it's game over after Pete Orr comes in and hits a ball over Andre Ethers' head. So bottom line of this game, Bob, was never taking a play off. A lot of hustle, and this team is not quitting even with 12, 11 games to go, and that's something that Jim Riggleman's been stressing to the team.
Tonight, we cover the bases with Ian Desmond. He just turned 24 4 days ago, and in his first 36 Major League at-bats, he's only struck out 5 times. He has 12 hits. You're going to get to know him a lot tonight. Martin is ready, and up the middle it's Desmond with Gonzalez tonight. Rafael Furcal's been a terror in this series. First pitch a little bit outside. We're underway at 7:04, 81 degrees, cloudy skies. Furcal has another base hit. He has an 8-game hitting streak, 13 for his last 30, and he's 7 out of 10 against the Nats in this series. Ethier and Ramirez to follow. They can't keep Ronnie Belliard out of the lineup, can they? He's batting 6th, playing second base tonight. Blake DeWitt gets in the lineup ahead of Russell Martin, driving in runs very well as he hits in either the number 7 or the number 8 spot every night. Furcal, a running threat, hasn't stolen that many bases this year, only 10, but he sure looks, Rob Dibble, like he's getting healthy in a hurry.
Well, I think the bottom line is that, this is the type of team that needs all their guys ready to play. And he hasn't stolen a lot of bases this year, but if he starts running right now, I think Joe Torre would be much happier.
An extra dimension of speed for the National League's best hitting team, at least in terms of batting average and having men on base.
And you never know with some of the question marks in their rotation, whether it's Billingsley or Kershaw. Padilla starting tonight, possibly John Garland in the postseason, Randy Wolf. You don't know what you're getting, even though this pitching staff still has the best earned run average in the National League.
Andre Ethier 0 for 7 in the series, but he has a couple of walks and a couple of RBIs.
I was listening to the pregame show, the Nats Extra, and Debbie Taylor was talking with Orlando Hudson. He's still a few days away now after jamming his wrist last night.
Pretty good thing they picked up Ronnie Belliard, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I also talked to their broadcasters before the game also, and they said all 5 of the pickups by Ned Colletti have been a plus. Big improvements to the ball club.
Dodgers start tonight with 91 wins, 31 games over 500, 5 up on the Rockies. And there's the crew chief, 33-year veteran Jerry Crawford with the plate tonight. Bill Hahn, Phil Kazee, and Tom Hallion have the bases. And a ball ripped to center. On a hop to Harris. 2 really well hit balls by the Dodgers.
Blind 8, he has never faced the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the first couple of guys get hits off of him. 7, Nats have won 7 of his last 9 starts, and 3 of J.D. Martin's last 4 September starts. And full court press, keep throwing strikes, stay ahead of these guys, and try to lower your pitches per inning count. That's been a problem for him. He's up around 20 pitches per inning. I'd like to see that at 15 so he could get out there for the 7th and the 8th.
And if you were a block away from the ballpark just walking down from the Navy Yard station and you heard the crowd reaction, you would know who has just been introduced. Manny hasn't done a whole lot of damage in this series, knock on wood. And a breaking ball misses. But he has walked, he's driven in a run. He's 1 for 7 against the Nats.
But you always know he's there. So you have to worry about him.
In the air, right side. Adam Dunn running out of room.
I was talking to Joe Nathan, the Twins closer, today, and asked him about the Tigers lineup that he's going to face 4 more times possibly. And he said the same thing about Magglio Ordonez. He may be having a bad year, Ordonez, but you always know he's there, and he's always dangerous, so you can't take him lightly.
Angels' magic number, by the way, went down to 3 this afternoon when Texas was beaten 12-3 at Oakland.
Big curveball.
Yeah, Manny almost ducked his helmet right into the pitch.
You usually don't see Manny bail like that.
2-1.
Looks like he tightened up those cornrows, or the dreadlocks, excuse me. A little shorter today.
And over to the bag, Gonzalez. That'll have J.D. Martin stepping off. Gonzalez up the middle with Desmond. Very slick fielding and very quick double play combination. Manny doesn't hit into many. He'll rip that one to right center, and the Dodgers are on the scoreboard with another runner heading to third. Dukes gets it back in quickly. 3 consecutive singles. And for Manny Ramirez, his 61st RBI in 97 games.
Let's see what JD did against Manny here. Starts him off with a nice cut fastball. Then he's going to come in with another one. Throws a huge, big 12-6 breaking ball that bails him, and then he throws another cutter. Too many of the same pitch. Manny's just too good. He makes that adjustment and makes him pay.
Dodgers hitting .273, best in the National League. Only the Yankees and the Angels have higher team batting averages. And the Nationals defense busy so far tonight. Matt Kemp coming up. It's Willie Harris in the outfield, flanked by Willingham and Dukes. Desmond, as mentioned, up the middle with Gonzalez. Zimmerman done the corner men. And Jamie Burke gets his first start at home tonight. There's Jamie, who has seen action in 2 games for the Nationals, 1 at bat so far. Phillies, by the way, are in Milwaukee tonight with J.A. Happ facing Jeff Suppan. Their magic number is 6. St. Louis has a magic number of 1, but they don't play tonight. That ball is hit a ton to left center, and J.D. Martin is lit up by the first 4 Dodger hitters. Matt Kemp reaches 100 RBIs with his 26th homer of the year. I wonder if he thought the pitching coach just went out there, he's going to throw me a strike.
Well, and a strike it was right down Broadway, and Matt Kemp jumps all over it. Here's the Exmo, head down, beautiful swing, full extension, and it's a 4-0 game. No outs so far. The first 4 Dodgers have all hit the ball hard.
4 runs on 11 pitches. Next up is James Loney. Fastball center cut. And here's one that gets the outside corner for a quality strike.
Well, Padilla has 3 complete games in over 200 starts, so you know he's not going to finish this game. You got to start trying to get out of this inning if you're JD Martin. Or you have the bullpen warming up, but I would think that Riggleman's going to stay with him a little bit like Mock the other day. Damage control at this point.
Well,
Marco Estrada warming up.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hoping he doesn't have to use him, obviously. And a count of 0-2 to Loney, who's 5 out of 8 with 3 RBIs in this series.
We often talk about it. The 1st, the 5th, and the 9th innings, to me, as a former big league pitcher, are the toughest innings for you. As a starter, you may not be loose. You may not know what you feature that night. JD Martin, first time he's thrown Jamie Burke in an actual game here with the Nationals, and JD cannot live inside that hitter's box. If he's inside that hitter's box with 87-mile-an-hour cut fastballs,
look out.
Look out. So he's got to stay on the edges. And only 12 home runs given up this year before tonight for JD.
And a 1-2 pitch out of play left side. Nationals have now given up 168 homers on the year while hitting 144. That was the 142nd of the year for the Dodgers, who only ranked in the top 11 in the league coming in as far as the long ball. But they have lots of ways to manufacture runs. J.D. Martin ironically started his professional career when he was drafted by the Indians, and that was a compensatory draft pick for the losing of Manny Ramirez. So there's a little irony for you. Facing Ramirez many years later with a different organization.
So when Manny went free agent to the Red Sox, they got Martin.
They got compensation, and they used that pick for J.D. Martin. Nationals signed him as a minor league free agent last November.
Changeup. Still getting too much of the zone. That changeup needs to be down and in the dirt, away.
Now, I've heard over the years, Rob, at various times, the term wild in the strike zone. Is this what they mean?
I don't know about wild, but he's definitely too in the strike zone. He needs to back off a little bit, get to the outer edges.
Now he's throwing some pretty good pitches, but they're being spoiled by Loney. Nationals ERA starting the night 5.15. The next lowest in the league, next highest I should say, 4.75 by Milwaukee. 10th pitch of this at bat coming. 21st pitch of the inning. Finally getting it out.
Well, this is a little bit more of a wrinkle. It may even be a slider. Yeah, it is. A lot tighter than the pitch he threw to Manny Ramirez, and Loney goes down swinging. JD is a guy that has to pitch to contact to get outs. Only had 31 strikeouts in 62 innings pitched this year at the major league level.
And here's Ronnie Belliard, 4 hits in the series, 2 RBIs, and he's been all over the bases, scoring 4 runs. Generous call, 2-2. Breaking ball that must have just caught the front corner of the plate on its way by. Here, look at Ronnie, 333 for the Dodgers in 20 games. So for this new ball club of his, 21 hits and 63 at bats, 4 homers, 6 doubles, and he's made contact all but 13 times. And then right as I say that, he strikes out, 2 down. So Martin battles back to get a couple of outs. Now he'll face Blake DeWitt, who's had 1 at bat during this series.
Well, JD facing a little adversity here, and he comes right back, strikes out Loney, strikes out Belliard, and he is not a strikeout guy. As we said, that was only his 33rd strikeout in 62 innings, Bob. So a little extra oomph on those last few pitches. It's a pretty good pitch on the edge.
Blake DeWitt's a former #1 draft choice, taken 28th. Out of Sikeston, Missouri. And a hot shot. Up the middle, Desmond! Wow! The rookie flying to that ball and then using that cannon to gun out the runner. In fact, Adam Dunn liked it so much, he threw the ball right back to him. GNC leading the way. And by Jaguar. Visit your local Jaguar dealer to experience the thrilling performance of the new 510 horsepower Jaguar XFR. Sun setting on a beautiful Thursday. Cloudy skies, but very nice out to the west. And here's the Nats lineup. Ryan Zimmerman wearing out the Dodgers in 22 career games. 19 RBIs, the 3-run homer last night. Willie Harris still that leadoff spot. Jamie Burke in there tonight. Alberto Gonzalez back in there. And here's Willie Harris to lead off. Willie, 2 for his last 19 over 4 ball games and hitting just .222. Vicente Padilla, 5 starts as a Dodger. And Rob, during that time, WWWW. And he did get hit around a little bit against the Giants last week. 8 hits, 4 runs in 5 innings. So he's been a winner 4 out of 5 times. Wow. Where was that one? Willie Harris backing away from a fastball.
They are winning his starts, but he's not going deep into the ball games. He's going 5+, 6+. So when you have a pitching staff, yes, they have the lowest earned run average in the National League. They also are tied for a league low 1 complete game by a staff. See PNC Bank scouting report. 15 wins in his 23 starts between Texas and LA. But 16 of those has gone less than 7 innings. So basically, of those 23 starts, only 7 of those 23 starts he's gone more than 6 innings. And just wait him out. He's got 50 walks and 135 innings pitched, and he could possibly melt down. That's his MO in Philly and Texas.
Perez hits the ball in the air left side. Rafael Furcal. Dodgers had some glitches defensively last night with Matt Kemp and last night's second baseman Orlando Hudson and then Juan Castro. They're a solid defensive team, 4th in the league. Pretty much their starting 9 out there. Hudson not feeling well. Ronnie Belliard shuffles over to second base tonight. They've had 3 different third basemen in this series starting ball games. DeWitt following Belliard last night and Casey Blake on Tuesday.
And as I said, about 3 complete games by Padilla in 219 career starts.
Ian Desmond from Sarasota, Florida. Sarasota High School. He was thinking about some college baseball at USF, which is a very fine athletic school, the University of South Florida, northern part of Tampa. Verbally committed there until the Expos drafted him as the 84th player back in '04. We've seen his lively bat, and Rob, you and I have been impressed by the fact that he's made contact 31 of his first 36 major league at bats.
Well, he's a big kid. He's about a Derek Jeter-sized shortstop. You see where he was selected and having his best year as a professional offensively.
Emergency hack on a pitch in on his hands.
And what helps him in the evaluation process is that he was given some hitting tips, some things to do to help himself offensively, and he incorporated them and then went out there and used them and did well. So he's very coachable.
Big breaking ball by Padilla. And every one of these pitchers, with the exception of a couple of guys along the line who've been in the minor leagues, first time Desmond's ever seen these guys. Game notes: Ryan Zimmerman, 100 RBIs on the year. He had 1 as a pinch hitter, second most in the major leagues for a third baseman. That would be that A-Rod guy, the rest of them, right? Adam Dunn, he's at 103, nearing a career high.
Well, talking about Desmond for a second, just take Jeff Francoeur. He would not change with the Braves, so eventually they, at 25 years old, had to trade him to the Mets.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they tried to get him to do a few things. He would not do that. He was frustrating to their instructors, and they ended up having to trade him.
And it's Evan Longoria who leads in RBIs over Ryan Zimmerman. And then you saw the RBI stat from Rafael Furcal. Now on the shift, Furcal stays at short, and they take Blake DeWitt and put him up the middle, up there next to the umpire. Adam Dunn still having a very good season. He's hitting 33 points higher than his career average. And he told me yesterday he's very proud of that. He wants to keep on grinding it out toward the end. The highest average I can find for Adam in recent years was 266 in 2004. After that, he hit 247, 264, 233 with the Reds last year before they traded him, and then 243 with Arizona. So this is really good stuff by a big guy with power who gets on base a lot. And he will strike out for the 167th time this year. Nationals go in order, still not able to score early in ball games. Dodgers have 4. Pride and commitment in every can. Our performance legendary. It was that way for John Patterson back on August 4th of 05 against the Dodgers. He would go the distance, give up only 4 hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out 13. He had that big curveball of his going. That night, Brad Wilkerson hit a grand slam.
There's Milton Bradley making the last out.
And Wilkerson catching the ball. John Patterson beat the Dodgers 7-0. Where have you gone? Nats ace of the past. And a swing by Russell Martin to the track and left. Willingham gathers it in. Russell Martin making a bid for his 7th home run.
Yeah, Patterson would go 9-7 with a 3.13 earned run average. Looked like the start of an excellent career here with the Nationals.
Well, started the 06 season as the team proclaimed staff ace. I remember one game in 06 down in Florida, had double-digit strikeouts and mowed down the Marlins, and then injuries got in the way, and there was an aborted comeback to Temp in 07. The Nats haven't heard from John Patterson since. Here's Padilla, a 100 career hitter, and he pops up to the right side. Ball might come back to Adam Dunn. Not quite enough. .29 pitches in that first inning. That's enough to get you to take a deep breath.
but he came back very nicely. As we said, the adversity, couple of punch outs, great play by Ian Desmond at short.
Gets the opposing pitcher for his third strikeout. Top of the order now, Rafael Furcal. Every Sunday, family fun day at the ballpark. One more left. Pre-game player autographs, and after the game, the kids run the bases. And this Sunday, the first 5,000 kids ages 12 and under receive a free Build-A-Bear Workshop Screech. Nats Braves 135. Nationals.com 202-675-NATS.
And Bob, the giveaway was added to the schedule as part of Fan Appreciation Month at Nationals Park. The center field gates will open at 11 a.m. while the gates will open at noon.
That's cool. Folks get to come in the left field area, watch batting practice. Braves will be here tomorrow night with red hot Javier Vazquez in a good pitching matchup against John Lennon. Two-one. Rafael Furcal's been a terror in this series. 7 for 10, and he's 13 for his last 30 over an 8-game hitting streak, batting .433. Guy came to town hitting .257, and right now he's at .265. Rips it hard, and a fair ball. Umpire Bill Hahn skipping out of the way. He'll challenge Dukes, and he's safe at second base. What a series by Rafael Furcal here. He has a chance by the end of this night to have 10 or 11 hits in these 3 games. Well, he's thinking double all the way, wasn't he?
He's a contact guy. Here comes another slider or cut fastball on the inner half. He just pulls it right down the line inside the bag. Bill Hahn basically said, nope, that's a fair ball. It went inside of me. Doesn't hurt to have a guy hitting 280, 31 homers, and 103 ribbies behind you.
Fastballs.
Yep, you're going to see a lot more straight stuff or almost straight stuff.
And right now, the Nationals are getting nothing to speak of out of their leadoff spot. That ball hit to the right side, right off the end of the bat. Alberto Gonzalez throws out Ethier. Dodgers strand a runner. They lead 4-0. early bird schedule. Tickets available, nationals.com, or call 202-675-NATS and get your red on. Start thinking about what games you want to come and see next year. Zimmerman, Willingham, and Dukes. Big slow curveball, missing low. Great looking numbers, aren't they?
Well, I know he has 1 RBI. What is the DH?
Pinch hitter.
Pinch hitter. But if you look at Mark Reynolds, and they played together, right?
UVA.
He's got, I think, 43 home runs. He's got 100 RBI. Not bad for a couple of third basemen from the same place.
Yeah.
As you said, Evan Longoria has 108.
Yeah, I do believe that would be the top 2 from the same school at the major league level this year. Easily.
There you go.
3-0 to Ryan. And he's now walked 67 times this year. Nationals have their first base runner about 3 innings earlier than last night. Good to see somebody on here. It'll be Willingham, Dukes, and Gonzalez now, the next 3 hitters.
All right, I'm going to give you some levity here since J.D. Martin had a rough start. How would you like to start out like this baby in Indonesia? 19.2 pound, 2-foot-long child was born Monday in Indonesia. That's a start, huh?
Now that sounds like a future DH to me. Wow. Now, have the Red Sox invited them to lunch yet?
That's Big Poppy's little kid.
Wow.
How about that, young man? Two feet long. I mean, I was 10 pounds. How big were you as a baby?
They didn't keep records back then. I have no idea. I'm sure I can find my birth certificate somewhere for you.
I got to give my mom a lot of credit. There were 6 kids in our family, and every one of them was over 10 pounds.
Oh, the Dibbles are large.
They are some large humans.
Strapping Dibble kids.
The humanoids.
Not that great with the Rangers. Nope. 8 of 14 decisions. ERA almost 5 in 18 starts. Opponents hitting .286 with Texas. He's lowered that to .262 in his first 5 starts with the Dodgers.
Well, he does know the National League.
Oh, Willingham on a 2-0 pitch rips it up the middle. Great swing by Josh.
One. Back when he was with the Phillies, 02, 14 and 11 with a 3-2. 03, he was 14 and 12. And here you're going to see this pitch right down Broadway. Exmo picks up the action. Right back at you, big boy. And the Nationals have something going here. His best year with Texas was 15 and 10 in 06, his first year there. Pitched 200 innings. So he went 15 and 10 and 14 and 8 last year with Texas. But it was more of his control and controlling his temper issues that got him sent packing by the Rangers.
Elijah Dukes could change the face of this game in a moment. He rips it right center. That ball slicing away from the center fielder. Zimmerman held up. He will score. Willingham to third. The Nationals are on the board. And Elijah Dukes with his 57th RBI. Rob, that ball was crushed.
The more patient Elijah has become at the plate has meant disaster for a lot of pitchers because they try to go in on him sometimes. This ball's supposed to be away, runs back in. He just hits it right where it's pitched and hits it so hard it tails away from Matt Kemp. Now Ryan Zimmerman had to wait to make sure it got by Kemp.
And Adam Dunn almost met him at second base. Or pardon me, Josh Willingham.
So Josh Willingham had to hold up coming around second. He did get to third, and with no outs, second and third, Looks pretty promising for the Nationals here.
And the Dodgers do not play the infield in. If Gonzalez hits a ground ball to the right side, he could score one run and put another man at third base.
Well, and give Josh a lot of credit. He recognized the problem that was happening in front of him with two runners in between second and third. He held up. Elijah had to hold up, and you'll see this. You see Ryan watching it. Now Josh, he recognized, okay, my guy hasn't gotten to third yet, so he cruises into third and lets them score.
That is not a good pitch to swing at.
Well, or try to hit the other way, right? I mean, it's tough to inside out 95 up and in.
Now Gonzalez finds himself in the hole 0-2. Alberto looking for his 30th RBI.
He did a great job last night on the sac bunt in the bottom of the ninth.
And the ball gets away, but it hits the stone behind home plate and comes ricocheting right back to the catcher. There are two interesting designs of this ballpark that sometimes work against the Nats. The stone behind home plate and the low nature of the light standards, which Willie Harris lost a line drive in last night.
You see it skip right there, but it's going to come off the curly W. And those stones right there. Some of them are going different directions as far as the different bumps and stuff, but that one seems to come right back when it hits it.
And Gonzalez, base hit, right field.
Hold up.
Over the glove of Belliard. Pat Listash will hold Elijah Dukes. It's a 4-2 game, and it turns into a great at bat for Alberto Gonzalez.
We have talked about this, Bob. When he shortens up and just hits down on the ball, he is an excellent hitter. When he thinks he's got a lot of power, he pops the ball up. Right there, shortened up, dropped the hammer, hit a nice line drive, drives in a run, and also moves up Elijah to third with no outs. So that was some great hitting by Alberto. Rick Honeycutt comes out and goes, we had a 4-0 lead. You gave half of it back.
Yeah, the leadoff walk was big. Because Zimmerman walked, he scored. Now 3 hits. And it'll be up to Jamie Burke here with nobody out, trying to get a hold of his first RBI as a non-Seattle player. It's the only organization he's ever been with in 17 professional years. First order of business, get that runner home from third base. Good speed over there at third with Dukes. Burke had 1 RBI this year in Seattle in 41 games, a solo home run. He's always been a pretty good hitter in terms of his batting average. He hit .284 in 22 games with AAA Tacoma. A guy of his age, pretty much a backup even when he was at the minor league level.
None of that matters now.
He rips it and hooks it foul. I saw Jamie on Tuesday. I said, what'd you do with the day off? Because the weekend was a whirlwind for him as he came from coast to coast. He said, I took a big long walk around this great town. As an American leaguer, never had really been here to spend any time, and he thoroughly enjoyed his discovery of Washington, D.C. on Monday. And a 1-2 pitch coming.
Well, I bet the farm that he's a lot happier doing this than yard work back in, what was he, Tacoma?
Outside Eugene, Oregon is where he lives. Although his wife has those 3 little boys to take care of for a couple of more weeks.
All under the age of 4. God bless her.
2-2. And Manny hits it well to left field. Manny Ramirez back to the track, easily deep enough to score Dukes. And then Gonzalez couldn't get back to first base quick enough to tag. And the Nationals are back to within 1 run. And Jamie Burke's first National League RBI.
Nice job right here by Jamie. It's a fastball up. He tomahawks it. Not an easy pitch to connect with, but he drives it deep enough for an easy sacrifice fly here and get Elijah Dukes home. Even more impressive, you have the pitcher following him, and he knew that.
And JD makes a perfect bunt. His second career sacrifice on the first pitch. And Willie Harris will have a shot to tie the game now with 2 outs.
And we got a 1-0 game. That's the way you got to look at it now. Nice job by the Nationals coming right back.
What a good inning. And as we mentioned last night, this is only the 3rd time now in the Nationals' last 9 games when they have scored runs in the first 4 innings. So after a 1-2-3 first, the offense got going with the Zimmerman walk, the Willingham, Dukes, and Gonzalez hits. And here's Willie Harris, who needs to do something other than hit a fly ball.
Well, now we're getting Padilla's pitch count up, 37 on that last one. So we can get him around 40. 20 every inning. Get him out of there.
Willie Harris 1 for 8 in this series, 2 for his last 20. And the tying run at second base with speedy Alberto Gonzalez. Two and one. Time had been given. Umpire walked away. And I think pitchers do themselves a favor when they go ahead and continue their delivery on situations like that.
Two pitches ago, this is Rafael Furcal out at short. He's going, go to home. Go to home. What are you doing? That's a new signal. I have not seen that before.
Pretty obvious.
Go pitch.
Go.
We talk about the open glove. That's what you have to watch for from the second baseman. He starts going towards the bag, opens that glove up.
Ball 3.
Well, and I like the lead that Gonzalez is getting out at second.
Well, nobody's near him.
Nobody's near him. Trust your coaching staff.
And when you have a guy in center field with 13 assists, every foot is big.
Well, center and right. Ether's got a cannon too.
3-2 pitch. And Willie hits the ball in the air. Right where he hit the first one, to the shortstop. Last night the Nats trailed 3-0, came back to win. Tonight they trailed 4-0, and they're right back in the game. Ainsworth. Here's our Ford Prospect Player Profile, brought to you by your local Ford dealer. Now, the Nationals took Drew Storen out of Stanford with the 10th pick in the first round this year. 6'2", 180. He had his 22nd birthday on August 11th. And Rob, he's been amazing in the minor league level with those control numbers of his.
Well, you see that he's not walking a lot of people. And you see the 49-8. The saves are there. He's doing everything that's expected of you and then some at the minor league level. Most guys don't get off to that kind of a great start. He will be going to the Arizona Fall League and play with Steven Strasburg, and also the first round picks of a few other teams will be on that team.
And a very refreshing story of a young man who wanted to sign, didn't bicker over money, wanted to get to work. And he's already progressed through 2 different levels of the organization. And Manny takes one in the back from J.D. Martin.
Well, he's a diver, dove over the plate to get that double the first time, and actually sounded like it hit the bat. As you'll see it come inside. No, it gets his elbow. That's what that sound was. That's gotta hurt.
Second Dodger hit by a Nationals pitcher. Russell Martin on Tuesday night hit by Saul Rivera. So the Dodgers have their leadoff man on for the second time. And the hitter will be Matt Kemp, who bombed a 3-run homer deep to left center, capping off that 4-run first inning.
I like it. Get in there. Get in that kitchen.
Front door breaking ball, maybe a changeup, stayed off the plate, and the count's 1-1. So Kemp, just like Zimmerman, reaches 100 RBIs in this series. He's done it on 27 home runs. Talented young man from Oklahoma City. Swing and a miss on a big breaking ball away. How about these kids under 25, Rob, who are putting up big numbers?
How about the guy at the top of the list?
I like it.
89 homers for the 24-year-old Zim. Tulowitzki, Kemp, and Tulowitzki had one bad year too. So
another well-hit ball by Kemp. He's 2 for 2. And by the way, Ryan won't be under 25 much longer. He has a birthday in 4 days. So we'll revise that graphic next week and say guys under 26. And he'll still be looking pretty good.
Or just 25-year-olds.
25 or younger. And here's James Loney, 2 on, nobody out. But you can see how well the Dodgers have drafted.
It's evaluation. They have amazing evaluators.
Loney, Russell Martin, Blake DeWitt. 5 of their starting 8 position players tonight drafted by the Dodgers.
Billingsley, Kershaw. They continue to draft Broxton. Continue to draft just amazing pitchers. And that's always been the forte of the Dodger organization, pitching.
Jason Repko, A.J. Ellis, the other position players. And that's, I mean, that's the MO. That's the blueprint right there, Rob. And there's Marco Estrada for the second time. You draft well, and then you sprinkle in the trade acquisitions and the free agents, and you have a good ball club because you've got that base.
Well, Steve McCatty is not going to be happy. This will not be a nice conversation. You gave up 4. Your team comes back, gets you 3. You hit the first guy. Second guy gets a base hit up the middle after you get way ahead of him, and now you're 2-0, and it just looks like a world of hurt right here. You don't want the bullpen coming in this game if you're J.D. Martin. You want to at least try to get 5 or 6 innings and give the Nationals an opportunity to come back and win the ball game.
Loney struck out swinging first time up. So did Belliard, who's next. 3-0 pitch right in there. Ronnie Belliard. The Nats finally got him out in the first inning tonight. Off the plate, bases loaded, nobody out. To Belliard, who's hit grand slams this year for both the Nationals and the Dodgers. That's Martin's first walk.
Come on, JD, roll a ground ball right here.
Belliard's hit into 10 double plays this year, 3 since coming to the Dodgers. 4 for 8 in this series with 2 batted in. Oh, good pitch. Breaking ball. He thought it was a fastball. Got away from him.
Great pitch to start off. Belliard looking fastball. It's the slider. Even better slider right there, down and away.
All right, a guy like Belliard, who's so aggressive, and 2 of his 4 career grand slams this year. Where do you go with him on 0-2?
0-2, you have to trust Jamie Burke, who's been around 17 years in professional baseball, can block a breaking ball. You don't want to throw, well, this looks like a fastball up. No, it wasn't another
slider.
Breaking ball.
Yeah.
But I just caught the tail end with a guy on second of those signs. But would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit more over the top, even the curveball, but down in the dirt, and make Jamie block it and try to strike this guy out.
Eight o'clock at Nationals Park. Ball game in progress for 55 minutes already. Top of the third, lot of offense. 4-3 Dodgers, 9 hits in the game, and 3 more Dodgers aboard here, with nobody out for the ex-National Ronnie Belliard. Rubber game of the series and the season series. There's a nice seats right over there. Looking down the rail, right down the left field line. A lot of foul balls over there from right-handed batters. And the count's 1-2. Off speed, got it.
Beautiful.
Great breaking ball as J.D. Martin and Jamie Burke take advantage of Ronnie Belliard's aggressiveness. And that's his 4th strikeout.
He threw him some sliders, and then a fastball he fouled off, and then he comes back and he's got a great hook. 12 o'clock, see it over the top, right elbow to the left knee, straight down. Belliard, no chance. Great job on the Exmo, gentlemen.
Sweet pitch. Here's DeWitt. Hit the ball hard first time. Right to the left fielder, Willingham.
Get the cutoff.
Man, he missed the cutoff man, and that moves up 2 runners. Josh Willingham had no chance to throw out Manny Ramirez, and he just gave the Dodgers 2 extra bags. That ball just too deep to throw anybody out.
Well, this is unacceptable right here. You see Desmond go over, and Josh just launches one over Zim's head. You had 2 runners. One of them was in between second and third. You hit the cutoff.
Now they have to walk Martin, and you do have the pitcher coming up.
Loney would have been dead.
But what that did was the Dodgers, at worst, they get their pitcher up this inning, and then they get a red-hot leadoff man to lead off in the 4th. So the Dodgers have the bases loaded for the 2nd time this inning. And Padilla struck out first time. This Saturday, 2nd annual Gospel Music Fest here at Nationals Park. Post-game concert performances by choirs from D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Antonio Giuliano, the featured soloist, and artist and composer Jeff Majors. You have a ticket for the game, you get to stay. Tickets start at $9, nationals.com/gospel. Strike one to Padilla. Struck out looking, hitting under 100 in his career, 15 career RBIs. And he takes a hack and hits a fly ball to Willingham and left. So the Dodgers had the bases loaded with nobody out, and for the second straight night they settle for one run. Ian Desmond, we're covering the bases with him. He leads off in a moment.
To him over his baseball career.
Everybody. I mean, I've been blessed with great coaches and managers my whole life. You know, ever since I had AAU when I was 12, you know, they were teaching me running on and off the field, you know, get the guy over, you know. And then I got to high school and I had a great coach with Ty Metcalf there.
Ian also said he has learned a lot from his professional coaches, including Randy Knorr and Tim Foley, who both managed him in the minors, and he credits them for really teaching him how to play the game right. And also, we will hear from Clyde Metcalf later in the game, Bob.
Looking forward to that, Debbie. Thank you for the preview. That's a great baseball man right there. Randy Knorr, as a manager, won a single-A championship with the Potomac Nationals in '08. Earned himself a major league job. And here's Ian Desmond leading off, bottom of the third. Goes up ripping. And Rob, he made a spectacular play on Blake DeWitt.
Well, we really needed this right there, too, after a couple of strikeouts after the 4 runs. And Ian Desmond gets the Nationals out of the first inning. He keeps it at 4-0 and gave them an opportunity to come back. It's now 5-3. Well, this is just 3 years, Bob, of the draft for the Dodgers from 2002. 2002 draft, #1 pick. James Loney, Eric Stoltz, Russell Martin, James McDonald, Delwyn Young, Jonathan Broxton.
Wow.
Okay. 2003, #1 pick was Chad Billingsley. They also got Matt Kemp, 6th round, and Andy LaRoche, who they traded for Manny. And then 2004, Blake DeWitt and a 19-year-old David Price, who did not sign with them.
Yeah. Stayed at Vanderbilt, huh?
Yeah. As you said, then you're able to sprinkle in some free agents here and some trades there and pick up guys late.
Trying to remember who the Dodger GM was at that time. Was that Danny Evans?
Danny Evans.
I think he was part of those outstanding draft picks. And then they brought in Paul D. Podesta after that, one of the Boy Wonder GMs.
Yep.
And Ned Coletti, of course, a longtime baseball man. Solid years with the Cubs before coming to L.A.
And the Giants. Coletti went to the Giants for many, many years.
Adam Dunn struck out swinging first time. Heartbreaking ball down and in. Now the count's 3-1 to the man who has walked 110 times this year, tied with Albert Pujols for the major league lead. Rips it right side. Loney sliding to his right. Leads the pitcher to the bag perfectly. 2 outs. Big walk tonight for Ryan Zimmerman. Bigger blast last night.
Yeah, he started off that 3-run second inning tonight, but last night, first hit of the game, first 3 runs of the game, and Zim got us back into that ball game. So the Ziminator, the Eliminator, eliminated that no-hitter and shutout all in one swing.
Dan Evans took over in 2002 as the Dodger GM. He was a protege of the great Roland Heeman in Chicago, with them for a lot of years with the White Sox. And a 2-0 to Ryan Zimmerman, who walked first time up. The Dodgers led 4-0 at the time. 4 hitters later, it was a 4-3 game. Phillies are underway at Milwaukee. Phil's magic number is 6. J.A. Happ 10-4. Jeff Suppan 7-10. St. Louis, by the way, could clinch the Central tonight by not playing. The Cubs are at San Francisco, and if they lose, that race is officially over. Ryan Dempster for the Cubs against Brad Penny tonight in San Francisco. 2-2 to Zimmerman. What do you do when you clinch at home? You know, when you're home on an off day, do you pour champagne on the dog, or what do you do?
Well, I think they may be in their hotel rooms.
I don't have to look it up whether they're on the road tomorrow night or
yeah, I think they're in Milwaukee.
Okay.
The Yankees didn't even celebrate.
Well, that's expected, you know. The only thing they celebrate in the Bronx are world championships. And Ryan Zimmerman, the only player for the Nats to walk tonight, does it for the second time. Aflac trivia. Here's our buddy Medwick here in the bottom of the 3rd. Aflac! Which 3 pitchers have thrown a perfect game all time against the Dodgers?
Well, I know one of them. I was
Dennis
sitting
Martinez.
Well, Tom Browning.
Tom Browning, you were there. Dennis Martinez of the Montreal Expos, El Presidente. Now we got to think about that 3rd one.
El Presidente.
And by the way, there's an historical tie-in tonight because Vicente Padilla is one of the prides of Nicaragua. It's 97 career wins, the second most by a Nicaraguan-born pitcher behind Dennis Martinez.
Yep.
And he's not going to catch him. Dennis had 245. What a good pitcher he was. 3rd perfect game against the Dodgers.
Was it Nomo?
Wait a minute. I think my mind is onto something here. Don Larson, 1955 World Series for the Yankees. You think we got it?
Maybe. I don't know. They're kind of tricky there.
I know. Yeah, maybe they're saying regular season games only, but right now the production truck is eerily silent, Rob Dibble.
Yeah, well, you know, they put all those master's degrees and PhDs together,
and you and I, with our junior and high school education, is outsmarting a few people. No, we did better than that. So we're going to say Dennis Martinez, Tom Browning, and Don Larson.
I ever tell you how I missed my high school graduation? I was playing an all-star game at Fenway.
Well, that's a good reason to miss.
Yeah. I went 0 for 7 and got the loss in that game. I came in relief. Bobby Witt pitched against us. He could bring it.
Went on to a fine career at Oklahoma State and then with the Texas Rangers. Hard-throwing right-hander. 3 balls and a strike to Josh Willingham, who singled up the middle first time. Nats down by 2 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Zimmerman running, ball 4. 2 walks in the inning. And Elijah Dukes, who got the big hit in that second, a run-scoring double, has a chance to do some more damage.
That's usually a good sign when Medwick comes right back.
When Medwick returns this quickly, that means we're onto something.
Here you go.
Hey, come here. Shake my hand. That might be our best trivia performance of the year. That may be the only one we got right that fast.
I can't believe you pulled it, Don Larson, but you're the only one in this booth old enough to have seen it.
I was 2.5. I remember that game well.
I was kidding.
I know. But who will ever forget the image of Yogi Berra running out from behind home plate and jumping into the arms of Don Larson?
Well, because Don Larson was like a 1.5 feet taller than Yogi.
But here's another thing. The scorecard from that game is one level below us here at the ballpark because Shirley Povich, who this media center is named after, covered that game.
Now, Shirley Povich is Maury Povich's dad, right?
Exactly.
I didn't know that part.
If I'm not mistaken, Bob Wolf, who this booth is named after, was at that game as well. There's our sign right there.
There you go.
1955. But the Dodgers won the World Series in 7 games, not the Yankees.
Wait, I have some intel here. Connie Chung's father-in-law.
Well, we knew that.
Hey, thanks, Joe.
It's a complete team effort up here, Rob.
Yes, it is.
You know, and we wouldn't have this much time to chat if Vicente Padilla started working a little faster.
If he threw a couple over the plate here.
Elijah Dukes RBI double first time up. We're just trying to give you quality programming in between these pitches. And the Dodgers get their bullpen busy. Sinker baller Jeff Weaver, who I thought 5 years ago was going to be a major star in the major leagues.
Especially after he looked like he turned it around with the Cardinals and then he took off after that.
Great running fastball by Padilla. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I never could figure that out because Jeff had finally cleared the demons out of his head thanks to Dave Duncan, got his confidence back,
and then he went to Seattle because of money.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not about the money. Stay with some good people.
1-2 to Dukes. Elijah has really been doing a great job lately of picking up that breaking ball and not biting on pitches off the plate out there. And he spots the low fastball. This helps. The Nats are down by 2. The runners will be moving on a 3-2 pitch. Gonzalez on deck, and if Dukes plugs the gap like he did last time, he'll tie this game.
And Padilla's pushing 70 pitches already here. He's only made 8 outs.
Oh, he's going to get the call on the corner. Hard to believe a pitcher struggling with control would get that call. Elijah not happy with the strike 3 right arm of Jerry Crawford. Inning over. for the Nationals as the Dodgers lead this one 5-3. And joining us from Sarasota, Florida, 16th year as the school's athletic director, 29 years as the head baseball coach down at Sarasota High School, Coach Clyde Metcalf, who coached Ian Desmond in high school. Coach, thanks so much for your time tonight. Great to have you with us. And how do you feel about Ian Desmond and his first couple of weeks with the Nationals here in the major leagues?
We're very proud of him. Ian obviously is off to a great start, and you know, it's created a lot of excitement around the school. And
Coach, I love the nickname of your school, the Sailors.
Well, we're a nautical group. We are the Sailors since 1926.
Right. Well, and obviously Ian Desmond had a hand in getting you. I understand you've won over 80% of your games down there in Sarasota. What kind of ball player was Ian in high school, Coach?
He was a tremendous player, very hard worker, great role model. And you know, a tremendous shortstop, and obviously a very good offensive ball player. He was a standout for us for 3 years.
You know, and we had a story shared with us, Coach, about Ian and how on Sundays he would drive to your house and ask you for the keys to the batting cages so he could go hit. What does that tell you about him?
Well, that's just a testament to his work ethic, and that's a true story. And he would do it every Sunday, and you know, he did that in season and off season. It's a testament to his work ethic.
Have you talked to him since he's been in the big leagues?
Yes, I have. Actually, I talked to him the day that he got the call to come up, and we've been texting back and forth. And he seems like he's really enjoying himself and playing relaxed and happy to be contributing.
Now, was he like me where I played pretty much every position in high school? Is he versatile to where he probably pitched and maybe even caught or played the outfield? Did he play some of those positions?
Well, he played the outfield when he was young in our program. His junior year, he played second and then made the transition to short, and that was just because of the guys that we had him beyond him or above him. I tried to get him to catch, and a lot of people talked about making him a catcher, but that wasn't anything we ever did.
Good pitch by Marco Estrada. He strikes out Rafael Furcal. Finally, the Nats get Furcal out, starting the top of the fourth inning. Well, Clyde, you've been a much celebrated coach, National Coach of the Year, all the state championships. Rob mentioned all the times you've gone to the Final Four. Can you share something with us about your coaching philosophy that might make Clyde Metcalf a little different than your average high school coach?
Well, I think I'm just like most of the guys. The biggest thing I emphasize to our players is that every day is a new day, and every day it's our job to get better. And the other thing we do is we make them work hard because they have to try out every year. And, you know, that's a nervous day for a lot of the kids, including guys like Ian, because we actually make them perform during a tryout session. But we just try to instill work ethic in them and get the most out of them we can.
Is he the first player you've gotten into the big leagues, or have there been others?
No, we've had a couple others. I coached Derek Lilliquist, and Derek spent quite a bit of time in the big leagues. Bobby Stevens with the Tigers now came out of our program, so we've been fortunate to have some guys. That's
awesome, Coach. Clyde Metcalf with us. Ian Desmond's head baseball coach from Sarasota High School. And now a called third strike as Andre Ethier is fanned by Marco Estrada. Well, Coach, we'll take well care of your young man for the last couple weeks of the season. We've really been excited to see him at the major league level. Our best to you and your family and all your kids down there, and thanks so much for giving us some of your time tonight.
Well, thank you for having me on.
All right, Coach, continued good health and good luck down there.
Thank you.
That sounds like an awesome coach right there.
Sounds a lot like my high school coach. I mean, around for 30, 40 years, and a lot of different kids go through the program, but you know, and Ian's a very respectful young man, so obviously his high school coach had a lot to do with that.
Here's Manny Ramirez on base twice, scoring 2 runs. That's a foul ball outside the third base line. But you know, Rob, and you can address this better than I can. You know, I had to struggle to be a varsity athlete. You were a star athlete, all-state, couple of different sports. Those years at that age, that really molds the rest of your life in terms of being an athlete.
Well, absolutely. And you talked about him getting the key to the batting cage and stuff. My high school coach who stressed obviously academics, but we had to rake the field, we cut the grass, we took care of the field. I mean, it was what we did. You know, you go back and you look at it and you say, you know, those little things the coach made you do, the running in the hallways in the off season, things like that. When I was in the minor leagues, I still went back to my old high school and ran the hallways. I still threw in the basement at my old high school, things like that. So stuff you learn at the younger levels, you carry with you even to this day. I still teach some of the things to young kids that I learned from some of the Orioles scouts, some of the Dodger scouts that came into my high school and taught a lot of us different little tips and things like that that would help us out. So I think you have to listen when you're a young kid.
Marco Estrada strikes out the side. A 1-2-3 top of the fourth, bottom of the order ahead for the Nats in a 5-3 game. With high school coaches and finding out, you know, what really molds these kids into future professional major league athletes.
And like I said, I mean, you have to listen to your coaches, you have to listen to your instructors. I mean, you see Tim Foley is up here, Steve McCaddy was at the lower levels. You know, we talked about the Dodgers organization and listening to those guys at the lower levels, whether it's Maury Wills or Manny Mota. Those are the guys that teach you things that can make you get better. Not too many people in this world, especially coaches, are trying to hurt your development. So listening to your coach like Coach Metcalf obviously helped Ian Desmond.
Alberto Gonzalez, one of his better at bats lately, with a line drive base hit, got the Nats their second run in that 3-run bottom of the second. Vicente Padilla still in the ball game. Pitch count low 70s. He leads by 2.
And my high school baseball coach was also a Big East college basketball referee. And I would be playing another sport, watching him run and get in shape.
And you put the bat on the ball and hit ground balls, good things happen. And Gonzalez is 2 for 2.
Well, his first hit was a line shot. The second one, you couldn't have rolled it out there any better. As I was saying, you know,
what was that coach's name?
John Fontana. And he was also the president of the High School Coaches Association of America and took some teams abroad. And there you see Blake DeWitt has no play on Gonzalez's swinging bunt. But they're your mentors, you know, they're your elders. You got to listen to those guys. I mean, you know, I got my high school coach's 300th win. He went on to win over 700 games at the high school level. Carl Pavano played for my high school coach. I mean, you know, and I just talked to, I said, Joe Nathan. And one of the things that I've been told by Bert Blyleven, one of their broadcasters, and Joe Nathan, Carl Pavano's work ethic is rubbing off on the younger players. you know, because they have a lot of young pitchers, and that's the kind of stuff that you like to hear, that the people that taught you, you're giving back by what they taught you years ago.
And a guy like Carl Pavano, a lot of injury problems last few years. He's probably now valuing every day in the major leagues more than he might have 10 years ago when he was a rookie.
And he's not a quitter. I mean, they've won 6 of his 9 starts over there, and the reason they're still in the race is because of Carl Pavano, and he starts tomorrow in a huge game for the Minnesota Twins. So, I mean, to me, it's those little things, and the little things I watch with our coaches, like a Rick Eckstein. Every day he's working with all of his hitters like they're his children. And, you know, when you see guys go out there and actually produce, and you've been teaching them this and that, it's got to be fulfilling to some of these guys. Like a Pat Corrales, who's been around for 60 years.
And the 0-2 coming to Jamie Burke. Big breaking ball. He stays with it.
You know, how about this guy hitting 17 years as a pro? Not a lot of big league action, but you know what? As soon as he got that call, you've been traded. Couldn't get here quick enough.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here, honey. You're going to have to finish the lawn.
1,300 minor league games. That's a lot of bus rides. That's a lot of bad mascots. A lot of small locker rooms. And lots of bad lighting trying to get base hits. No balls and 2 strikes to Burks, who's still 0 for 1 as a net. Doesn't have a hit, but he has an RBI. And Padilla will get another call on the outside corner with that swing back fastball.
Well, Jamie was fouling off some really tough pitches, and then this one is a sinker that comes back, gets the call by Jerry Crawford. Both of those, one to Elijah Dukes and that one to Burke. Doesn't look like it gets the plate, but
you know, sometimes umpires will give strike calls because they've been umpiring for an hour and a half and you're in the 4th inning.
I want to move the game along a little bit. Very nice bunt by Estrada.
Yeah, this time it's Estrada doing the same thing that J.D. Martin did last time. We had our Geico President's Race, and again, Teddy missing action with a bad hamstring. You know, Rob, I got an uneasy feeling when they got all bunched up right here. And George takes Abe out like he was a British soldier. And Thomas high-stepping in. Now, Debbie Taylor, where is Teddy Roosevelt and why is he not racing?
Okay, as you mentioned, he does have a hamstring injury. It was actually a re-aggravation of his original injury from a few weeks ago. He is currently getting treatment. Now he hopes to be ready and back in the race by this weekend.
And a swing and a base hit, Willie Harris. The Nats will get a run with 2 outs. Gonzalez coming home to score. It's a 5-4 game. And if there's any hitter in the Nats lineup who needed that to happen, it was Willie Harris.
It was Hot Rod. Huge hit for Hot Rod. Makes it a 5-4 ball game, but set up by the Estrada bunt. So doing some of the fundamental stuff. Sets up this 2 outs. Base hit right here. RBI base hit by the leadoff hitter, Willie Harris. So Gonzo swing and bunt. And then the bunt by the pitcher manufactures a run. Gets you back in the ball game here. 1-0 game again. I thought he'd be at like the G20 Summit in Pittsburgh. That's where I thought Teddy was.
Well, you know, the funny thing about him was Debbie said he first injured that hamstring recently. I heard it was hurt back in like 1904 originally. Now here's Ian Desmond.
When he was with the Rough Riders?
That's right.
Where did he fall off a horse?
He got on too quick. Desmond, a pair of strikeouts so far. Let's see if the former Sarasota High School sailor can get himself a base hit here and keep this inning alive for Adam Dunn. There's Ian, a little before the
not
high
quite
school
19
years.
pounds.
He's got a ton of personality. He's a really delightful kid. I still remember when I met him. I said, "Tell me what kind of hitter you are." I thought he'd say, you know, line drive. I like to hit the gaps. He just looked at me and said, "I'm a tough out."
And
you
he is a
gotta
tough
like
out.
that.
Yep.
He's got that grimace going with the pitch coming in.
All I want for Christmas are my 2 front teeth.
Maybe they were in that package. That's great. .6'2", 210, as Rob mentioned earlier, big, strong, 84th player drafted in '04 by the Expos. Harris is running, and Desmond fouls it back. The Nats haven't had much of a running game since Niger Morgan was injured 24 games ago. Willie Harris, 10 out of 13, stealing this year.
It was the 2004 draft. Verlander, who's one of the best pitchers in the big leagues. Hunter Pence, one of the most exciting players down in Houston.
An MVP.
2008 MVP there, Pedroia. Lind had an amazing year up in Toronto. Desmond finally up here in the big leagues, showing off. Garrett Mock. Happ.
Pitching for the Phillies tonight,
Yep.
J.A. Happ. Harris running again. Desmond, did he hold up? Willie is out. Might have been tagged right on the shoulder or the helmet as he goes by, as Russell Martin nails his 24th would-be base runner of the year. Nats pick up a run, though. And by McDonald's, up early, so are we. McDonald's is open 5 a.m. or earlier. I'm loving it at participating McDonald's. Now that's a mobile to put above your crib right there. Lots of baseball. Nats pick up a run. Top of the 5th inning coming up, and Marco Estrada. Well, Rob, let's see how he does in his 2nd inning, but his first was spectacular.
His first was excellent. He punched out the side. You see that moving fastball. A lot of great velocity here. Movement. Manny, who was hit. Maybe J.D. Martin helped Estrada out there. Hit the last time up. Didn't dive right there, and he took a 3rd strike.
That top of the 4th inning, a bit of a milestone for the Nats in this series. It's the first time in this series for Kyle, Ethier, and Ramirez have been retired in order by one of Jim Riggleman's pitchers. Strikeouts are nice. Nats just happy to get some outs against those guys. Front door breaking ball fouled away by Matt Kemp. Singled in the 3rd, but a big 3-run blast 2 innings before that.
He is a big, strong young man. Got a pitch right down the heart of the plate and did not miss it. JD would love to have that one back.
It's that ball well to left center. Willingham drops it. Throw to second. Safe. And Rob, the way Josh Willingham was acting there, I think he was having trouble with the lights. Nearly every line drive to an outfielder, a corner outfielder in this park, gets in those low banks of lights, and the guys are struggling.
Well, he was trying to pick the ball up. He couldn't. And right at the end, it hit his glove, but he wasn't able to squeeze it. And that bank of lights that's behind home plate that faces left field is just wreaking havoc on our left fielders.
Happened to Willie Harris last night. Now, our lights are pretty evenly spaced around the ballpark, but in an optimum situation, there should be very few lights behind home plate, and usually the light standards get bigger as you get toward the outfielder, because that way they're not in anybody's eyes when they're trying to catch a ball. But these light standards, they're 4 on each side. They're in the infield, and the guys are having a nightmare with the lights. And this time of the year, it's dark a lot earlier than it is in June, July, and August.
Well, and the one thing I can say is both teams have to play with the same lights.
Yeah. So hit line drives.
Hit line drives against them. You know, they're at the same disadvantage that we are.
But I would say that in our ball games this year, and this is the 75th game in this ballpark this year, I bet we've seen 30 line drives where guys have really had a problem with the lights. And I'm talking about both teams. We just tend to remember the ones our guys struggle with more. Now it's 2-0 on Loney.
Very nice change up there by Estrada. Two 2-0, guys looking for a fastball, first base open, and he gets a changeup. And that's exactly what you have to do at this level. Cannot give in to hitters up here. It's interesting, Jerry Crawford not giving our pitchers the same amount of the outside part of the plate as the Dodgers.
Well, and Padilla has walked 3 batters, gone to numerous long counts, and it's hard to believe he's getting that call.
Well, and I told you before, he not throwing a lot of innings. He's 50 walks in 135 innings this year. He's not a strike thrower this year.
And with the runner going, and he had a good jump, a foul ball. Matt Kemp has stolen 34 bases this year. 3rd in the league behind Michael Bourne and Niger Morgan, who has 42 and hasn't played in a month. And he's still number 2 in the league. Three and 2 to Loney. Ball 4, and the ball gets away. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. All right, Rob, we had 2 last night lost in the lights.
Well, Detweiler throwing a great game, and line shot right here, Willie Harris. And he never saw the ball off the bat. And then a little bit later in the ball game, and this would help the Nationals win the ball game, getting back in it against George Sherrill. And Matt Kemp never saw it once it went up. And he thought Manny Ramirez might help him, but he couldn't.
I don't know, what do you do about situations like that? Not easy to move light towers around. 1st and 3rd, nobody out.
Well, you can't change the angle of the individual lights, though.
Yeah.
On the bank. So it's not just the bank. You can change how they're angled at that left fielder.
And I know in these new ballparks, when they open up, they use computer models. Every light bulb is pointed somewhere where the one next to it is not, so that you have maximum coverage on the field. But you can see that huge glare in the middle. Imagine trying to catch a baseball right in the middle of one of those. And it's the 4 light standards closest to our booth here that present the big problems. Now it's Belliard with a count of 1-1.
I think what you do next year is you just take some of the outfielders beginning of the season at night and have them out there and hit some balls at them and tell them with somebody adjusting the lights whether or not it's in their eyes, and you try to adjust them before the season starts.
Belliard pops it up and out of play. Phillies still lead that game at Milwaukee 1-0. Top of the third, they're at Miller Park behind J.A. Happ against Jeff Suppan. Belliard, a swing and a miss. And the Nats get him on strikes for the third straight time tonight.
And Famous Dave's Real Honest Barbecue. So Famous Dave's on the Exmo camera on that swing. So we're going to head over to Famous Dave's and get some ribs right after this.
Nothing like a nice light post-game snack.
By the way, they threw that ball out so they could authenticate it. That was the 10,000 wild swing by Ronnie Belliard in his career. No one swings harder than Ronnie.
That's funny.
So he's over there now with the hologram.
He has the hologram man has something to do tonight too. I like that.
He has to justify the position. Yeah. Yes, Ronnie Belliard, 10,000th swing.
Fair ball. Zimmerman to second. He gets a fantastic force play. For a moment, I thought Zimmerman might throw home, but it's such a difficult play because there's a tag involved, and Kemp can absolutely fly. That's a great play by Ryan.
And I got to tell you probably don't want to set Jamie Burke up here with a guy that's as big as a linebacker barreling down on you. So he goes to second base, only play. Good takeout at second. Wow.
But Ryan Zimmerman has gotten so good lately with his throws. He doesn't even have to look at second base or first base now when he makes accurate tosses.
Well, and there you saw Matt Kemp. He's about 6'3.5", 6'4", 250, maybe bigger. I've seen him living out in LA. I saw him run over the catcher a few times out there. It's not pretty. And here's a catcher, Russell Martin, drafted back in the early 2000s.
Ron Vallone throwing. 2 outs in the inning now, and a runner at first base. Russell Martin, the hitter.
Yeah, Martin in 2002. That was a heck of a draft for them, though. Look at Loney, Martin, McDonald's in their bullpen. Delwyn Young traded over to the Pirates, and Jonathan Broxton is now your closer. And Stoltz is still an excellent pitcher in their organization.
And Rob, I think, and that's close but safe. One of the important things you brought up there, the 0-2 draft. It doesn't happen overnight. That's 7 years ago.
That was 7 years ago. And Broxton, I mean, last couple of years, he really came into his own. Here you see the snap throw by Burke. Come on, Haas, slap that tag on there. Blake DeWitt, a little bit of wardrobe malfunction. And it looks like he's got a ripped knee.
Jim Thome, we've seen him in this series as a pinch hitter twice. Had a base hit last night. A ground out on Tuesday. Pitcher spot next.
Interesting if it does get to Thome. Torrey pulling his pitcher before he can get the W, or even in line for the W.
That's right.
So Torrey wants to finish off clinching this division.
The important game over in the American League Central tonight. The Tigers are in Cleveland. They dropped a 4-1 fourth on the Indians and lead 4-2. Middle of the 6th inning. Detroit starts tonight 2.5 up on idle Minnesota. And a 2-2 pitch to Russell Martin. Abe got a little dirty tonight when the father of our country took him down, but he's still getting his PR work in among the crowd tonight.
Always getting votes. Never have enough votes, Abe.
Is there a 200-year statute of limitations when you can run again? 3-2 pitch. Runner will be moving. And a pop-up right side. Out goes Gonzalez. In comes Duke. Elijah is there, and he has it. Unearned run for the Dodgers. They lead 6-4. Desmond back to the batter's box in a moment.
Family's number one. I mean, without my family, who knows where I'd be? You know, I think we're all very, very, very tight. Probably tighter than most families, I would say. You know, and I think we all rely on it. You know, we've been like that ever since we were all kids. So.
Now, Ian's got a tattoo on his wrist to remind him of his family. His mom, Patty, stepdad, Chris, 2 sisters, Nikki and Paige, and a brother, Christopher. They are always close to his heart. Bob?
Very nice. And I'm sure they are just so proud of their young guy getting it done here at the major league level. Ian was at the plate when Willie Harris was gunned out stealing, ending the 4th inning. 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts tonight. Desmond, Dunn, Zimmerman, bottom of the 5th. Odd situation, as Rob mentioned. The batter makes an out, so Vicente Padilla stays in the game and has a chance to get 5 innings and that win if the Dodgers hold on. But Rob, they are pounding this guy outside corner, getting ahead of him, then throwing him breaking balls away. Ronald Belisario threw here Tuesday night. And maybe to set up one of those pitches, they throw under his hands. Ball 1.
Well, obviously they've scouted him heavily. A lot of these teams have the forwarding scouts that will go a week or 2 weeks ahead of a ball club and check out the teams they're going to be playing.
And he takes a fastball and strikes out for the 3rd time.
So I'm sure that there's already a book on Mr. Desmond going around. Well, he throws a running 2-seam sinker, comes back across the plate, 95 miles an hour. So Padilla still has a lot left in the tank right now.
Going inside to Adam Dunn. Adam's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground ball. I think this is an interesting dynamic with Jim Riggleman flip-flopping Dunn and Zimmerman. Adam has a much higher on-base average than Ryan does. And I think Jim's thinking here, all right, first inning, some other innings, maybe with 2 outs and nobody on, Adam Dunn gets on base. Ryan Zimmerman gets a chance to do some damage. Hasn't paid off yet tonight. Zimmerman's been the one walking. But I think Ryan Zimmerman enjoys hitting either in front of or behind Adam Dunn. He either gets great protection or there's somebody on base. Adam got jammed by that ball. It's a mile high over by the on deck circle. And it comes back in so severely Russell Martin can't catch it.
Once again, that was hit above the lights, Bob.
Yes,
and
it
Martin
was.
Lost it. Came back towards the field.
And Rob, this ball has a lot of English off the bat of the left-hander.
Yeah, he's trying to pick it up and goes back to earth. And that won't look good on the blooper reel.
And the other thing about catchers going back there, that is a rock wall. Not a lot of padding at all there. In fact, none. And Adam Dunn lives to fight for another pitch or so. "90 pitches, and he has registered 13 outs. Well, maybe 12. His catcher got him one last inning.
Pretty rough night for Padilla, but he's still trying to be in line for the win, trying to get through 5 innings.
Doesn't hurt with the highest batting average team in the league backing you every night. Although his ERA very respectable coming into this one. In 5 starts, 3-0 with a 2.96.
But once again, he's 5 1/3, 5 2/3, or 6 innings. Twice he's gone 6 innings in those 5 starts. It's not like he's getting through the order 3 and 4 times.
Target in.
Wow.
Well, that pitch was strike 3 to Jamie Burt last inning, and before that to Elijah Dukes.
You be the judge. It's a pretty good pitch. And you see where it ends up in Russell Martin's glove on the 2-seam. 96-mile-an-hour moving fastball.
2-2 to Dunn. He gets jammed, breaks his bat. Now he hopes it gets out of play, and it will. Every time Adam Dunn breaks a bat, that's one less that somebody else in the dugout can use.
Well, I thought you were going to say an angel gets its wings.
Well, if that's the case this year, the heavenly host has never been more populated than it is right now.
Like I said, the Washington Lumber Company, the National Lumber Company. These guys can go through some bats.
2-2 to Dunn. Fastball away. Troy Tulowitzki in the bottom of the first at Coors Field has hit his 30th home run of the year. And the Rockies, 5 games behind the Dodgers, lead San Diego 3-0.
And go back to that under 25 list. He's up to 62 homers.
What a good shortstop he is. Dunn turns on one, hits it second deck, away foul. Adam offering another long at bat here. Pitch number 10 will be coming. And Milwaukee is tied up. The Phillies in the 3rd on a Felipe Lopez infield single. Three-2 to Dunn with 1 out. And he gets under another one. Shallow center field. Matt Kemp takes charge tonight. He's not going to let that happen again. Get your red on tomorrow night. Nats Braves 7:05. Our final post-game fireworks show of the season is presented by your local Ford dealers. Michael Jackson's music will be the backdrop tomorrow night. Online tickets, nationals.com, or on the phone 202-675-NATS. It's going to be a week of final things here. 1 week from tonight, the Nats will be in Atlanta to open up the final series of the season. Fastball in there.
And as I said, Tulowitzki would have been with a higher home run total, but last year only managed in 101 games 8 home runs. So his sophomore year at the major league level, not a great one.
Yeah, he had some back problems last year. Fastball in there.
Came roaring back this year, as Bob said. 30 homers.
There's a guy who can pitch forever. He's got a good strong back. Ron Vallone's been a good left-hander and a good clubhouse and bullpen guy on this club this year.
Well, he's a mentor too to the young bullpen guys out there.
Well, he loved Wired Wednesday, didn't he, when he was on?
I don't know though. Tony Plush
covering the bases a couple of Thursdays.
Tony Plush may have been our best Wired Wednesday. Adam Dunn was excellent.
Tony Plush.
Niger Morgan.
How about Niger catching a fly ball at Wrigley Field in the first inning and saying, "Don't be bringing that stuff out here." I think that was in this ballpark. I still have Wrigley Field on my mind because that's where he got hurt. But I mean, he was hilarious. I think we used a lot of tape that night. 2-2 to Zimmerman. 6-4 game, bottom of the 5th.
Wow, mercy.
Now that pitch appeared to get some of the plate at the knees, and Jerry Crawford doesn't give Padilla the call.
I think this is better than the Dukes pitch and or the Jamie Burke. That's a strike.
That's perfect.
That's a perfect pitch. Two-seam fastball on the black. Ball.
All right, Ryan Zimmerman hits this one out of the park. Somebody's not going to be happy.
We will be.
He's wearing number 44 in blue. Zimmerman will ram it to the right side. Ronnie Belliard makes a good pick. And the Nats are gone in the bottom of the 5th inning. Long way to go in this one. 6-4 Dodgers. Rewind. Dodgers didn't take much time to take the lead tonight. Manny Ramirez, their 3rd hit of the 1st inning. Matt Kemp, a 3-run bomb. They led 4-0. Then Elijah Dukes, bottom of the 2nd, a run-scoring double. Alberto Gonzalez would go the other way. Willie Harris would pull one in the 4th inning. And on to the 6th. 6-4 Dodgers. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. Your world delivered. Everybody's something to cheer about tonight. 11 hits, 10 runs. Starting pitcher's not real happy about what has transpired here. And Marco Estrada is out there for a third inning of work. And the Dodgers in a leadoff scenario now will not turn to Jim Thome. They'll go with the speedy Juan Pierre. And that will finish Vicente Padilla, who could go 5 rather mediocre innings and come away with another win. 103 pitches in 5 innings. Dodgers with another busy box score tonight, mainly due to that first inning. Juan Pierre rips it out of play to the left side.
Give the national hitters, especially Dukes and Dunn and some of the other hitters, a lot of credit for being patient. We talked about make Padilla bring it to you. Didn't have his best stuff, even though he was throwing very hard. They got 4 runs off of him in five innings. That's pretty good stuff.
Gave up 5 hits, struck out 6. And Rick Eckstein's hitters doing a good job tonight.
Well, it's in the bullpen's hands. They got to keep it right here. 2-run deficit. You're chasing 2.
And Pierre will drill it to left. Willingham, not much trouble spotting that one. First out in the 6th. Top of the order now for Kyle and Ethier. Rafael Furcal 2 for 3 tonight, 8 for 12 in this series. He has scored 5 runs and driven in 4. So the Dodgers in this series have scored 24 runs. He's responsible for more than a third of them.
Wow, all of a sudden Jerry Crawford not giving the edges any longer. Berge to the left, Malone to the right.
And a ball hit well to center. That's way beyond the reach of Willie Harris, and Furcal is on base again. His 9th hit of this series. And a pair of doubles tonight.
Well, I don't think we have a good report on Rafael Furcal. However we're pitching him, it's not the right way. Once again, too much of the plate here by Estrada on the outside half. Furcal just launches one over the head of Willie Harris. Easy double.
Well, the Nationals went to Los Angeles on Wednesday, May 6th. Rafael Furcal was in the lineup, healthy, batting .248. That night he had 3 hits, drove in a run, and scored 3 runs before the Nats, behind Jordan Zimmerman and company, finally got him to go 0 for 5 the following night. That's been the only game this year where the Nats have been able to stop this guy. Fastball rides up and away from Andre Ethier. Fastball on the corner. Red Sox have an early lead at Kansas City tonight, behind Buchholz, and they got some help today from Oakland, who beat Texas. They're getting closer and closer to clinching that wild card. Tigers still lead their ball game at Cleveland. Bottom of the 6th inning. Let's have a look ahead to our TV schedule. Javier Vasquez and John Lannon here tomorrow night. Masson 2 and the Braves come in. And then on Saturday night, how about the pitching the Nats will see in this series? Tommy Hanson against Garrett Mock, and Sunday, Derek Lowe against Livan Hernandez. Then the Mets come in on Monday. Play 3 here before the Nats finish in Atlanta with 4 next weekend. Vasquez, Hanson, and Lowe. The Nats hitters better be ready for some great Atlanta pitching starting tomorrow night. And just a reminder, Saturday's a day game at 1:10. Three-two pitch hit off to the left side. Ask about the Nats at MassonSports.com. Love to hear from you if you have questions about the ball club, baseball related.
Come on, fans, let's go. Wake up out there.
Rob Dibble hasn't formulated his postseason plans yet, so don't ask us about that. He's still working on a few things. You will be covering the playoffs for radio, though.
Yes, for Sirius XM. And one of my analysts will be Adam Dunn.
Nice.
We'll be calling him.
You'll get some straight talk from him.
Oh, we'll get some straight talk from Haas.
Don't call him, though, on October 17th.
Is that a Texas game?
Texas plays Oklahoma that day. Don't call. He told me don't call me that day.
We're going to have to call him.
And Jim Riggleman coming out. Looks like the Nats will go to Jason Bergman here against Manny Ramirez. A runner at second, 2 outs, top of the 6th. Bergman will try to keep it a 2-run game. Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Catches the action on this great play by Ryan Zimmerman. Has to catch it going into foul territory, contort his body, all arm strength right here to throw it to second base. And he does an amazing job of getting that out. Alberto Gonzalez covering. So there's your Coors Light Freeze Can. Once again, Ryan Zimmerman showing you why he should be the Gold Glove winner in the National League this year at third base. Bergman against Ramirez. Fastball up. 51st appearance for Bergman, still trying to get that ERA down. He shows the Nationals flashes of excellence, but he needs to string about 5 or 6 good ones together. Made a one-batter appearance here last night in the 6th inning, and he fouled out Russell Martin with 2 men on. That was important. The Dodgers had a bunch of guys on base and had already scored that inning. That made it 3-0. The Nats were able to mount that comeback.
forget about for a call out there.
Yep.
Getting a really big lead. That's a huge run.
Yeah, not that he's going to steal third, but you don't want him scoring on a base hit. 2-2 to Manny. Bergman gets inside on him. Fly ball right center. Willie Harris yields to Dukes. And we're going bottom 6. Josh Willingham's been on base twice tonight with a base hit, a walk. Dukes after him, and then Gonzalez. Those guys have 4 hits already tonight. Extraordinary. A lot of folks gathered out in the Red Loft tonight on a pretty baseball night. 6-4 Dodgers, bottom of the 6th. 5, 6, and 7 coming up for the Nats. And we've got our final T-shirt Tuesday. First 10,000 fans, a free Natstown T-shirt. Nationals Mets next Tuesday night. 202-675-NATS, Nationals.com, or stop by the box office here at the ballpark for tickets. Dodger right-hander Ronald Belisario for the 64th time this year. Third highest total on the club, behind Ramon Troncoso and Jonathan Broxton, pardon me. And it's Josh Willingham, bottom of the 6th inning. He has singled, scored, and walked. Robbed of a hit by Ronnie Belliard. Who kidnapped Ronnie Belliard and is in his uniform right now?
Or you could say if he played like that when he was with us, he'd still be here. Ronnie Belliard going to rob Josh Willingham of a line drive hit. He is playing some enthusiastic baseball with the Dodgers.
And Elijah Dukes is next. Wow, 95.
Yes.
The arms just keep on coming from this organization, don't they?
Quite the lively arm by Belisario. Punchy Quo can bring it. McDonald can bring it. Broxton brings it at the century mark. Moda can throw hard.
Man, that's like a two-seamer that started belt high. Then he goes with the outside.
Right. Then he overthrows. Ball still has great movement on it.
And a 3-1 to Elijah Dukes. He'll take a one-out walk. Nationals receiving their 4th walk of the night. National League notes, Major League notes. Yankees have already clinched postseason. That means even at the very worst, they'd still be the wild card if they keep losing. They're not going to do that. Zach Greinke have his Cy Young hopes faded. And Bobby Cox, one more year with the Braves in the dugout and then up to the front office. And Bobby, of course, has been a GM in the past.
He signed a 5-year consulting contract with the Braves beyond 2010. So last year will be his last year on the field. No, Greinke just stuck it to the Red Sox the other night. 1 earned run. You saw that in the last 35 innings. He's having a great year on a very bad ball club.
I heard the umpires, when Bobby Cox retires, are going to give him the Golden Thumb Award. Major League record for being tossed out of games. He is really a guy who fights for his teammates and his players. I've never heard anybody say they didn't love playing for Bobby Cox. Well hit. Base hit. Alberto Gonzalez is 3 for 3. They were cheating up the middle for a double play, and he got one to the right of the shortstop.
Well, he's hitting down on the ball. We've talked about that for weeks now. He went a couple of weeks of hitting everything in the air. That's a bad breaking ball by Belisario. Watch this short little compact swing. Bang! On the ground in between short and third. Now you got something going here. It's going to bring Rick Honeycutt out of the Dodger dugout.
Gonzalez was hitting 197 since the All-Star break before his 3 for 3 tonight. So Jamie Burke coming up here. And if the inning makes it down to the number 9 spot where Jason Bergman is, Christian Guzman will hit for him. The aforementioned Ramon Troncoso, and the left-hander is Scott Elbert.
Troncoso is a law firm, Troncoso and Troncoso. Well, you've been hurt in an auto accident.
And if you need a closer when Broxton's not available, call Ramon. He has 5 saves. The big at bat here for Jamie Burke. Has his first Nats RBI tonight. And Joe Torre pacing. His team has the best record in the league. But right now only 2 wins ahead of St. Louis and 3 ahead of Philadelphia. And the Phillies just took a 2-1 lead at Milwaukee. It's going to be interesting down the stretch.
The one thing I love about guys like Joe Torre or Bobby Cox, Charlie Manuel, the only thing that matters is the game that they're in right now. They're not looking ahead. They want to win this ball game. Try to start putting their respective divisions to bed. Phillies have all kinds of issues with their closer. Brad Litt blew his 11th save last night down in Florida. He's got 8 losses on the year.
Yeah, slider happy was Lidge last night. There it is. You know, and you say, well, you clinch early, you can rest everybody. No, you can't. You have to keep playing unless you want to go on the road for the first round of the playoffs if you're Philadelphia or St. Louis. Burke pulls it, and that's a good thing. It's foul right near the bag at third, and the count's 1-2. You know, it's interesting. Colorado knows they're going on the road if they're the wild card. If they clinch a couple of days early, they're the one team who can really kind of let everybody rest a little bit because they know their fate.
Well,
at least try to clubs don't.
At least try to set up your pitching rotation.
Yeah.
You know, but as you said, if you're not in the National League West, those other two divisions, they're saying, well, I don't want to be the one that has to go to Los Angeles to play the Dodgers.
1-2 to Burke. Stays alive. But I mean, look at the wild cards. Florida, 0-3. Red Sox, the White Sox. Wild cards have had great success in getting to the World Series relative to what you might think over the years.
Both the Marlins World Championships were wild cards.
Yep.
Weren't the Angels a wild card?
They were in 0-2. You're right. I think when St. Louis won in 06, that broke the streak of the wild cards over about a 4 or 5 year period.
Commissioner Bud Selig has done a wonderful thing with the wild card. I am totally down with that. There's still half a dozen to 8 teams in cities that are hopeful their team's got a shot, including the Braves and the Marlins. Well, the Phillies keep losing.
And on a pitch up, breaking ball, Burke strikes out, 2 down. And here's Christian Guzman batting in the number 9 hole.
Well, it looks like a slider that doesn't slide too much. Looks like it backs up. Watch it go up. Sometimes that's a better pitch than throwing something down and away when the guy's looking for that. Well, it's up to Christian Guzman here. Big 2-out hit. Get this game a little closer. 2-out double, probably tie the game.
Christian Guzman this year as a pinch hitter, 1 for 8. He'll pull the ball. Right side. Somebody got to get to the bag. The Dodgers throw it away. A run scores, and Gonzalez ends up at third, and he better go back. Guzman's speed puts some pressure on the Dodgers, and they make a defensive mistake at a critical time again tonight.
As Bob said last night, the Dodgers basically dropped some balls and threw them away. Gave up the win last night, and right there, Ronnie Belliard helping us out.
Boy, he almost got his first baseman hurt.
Absolutely. Christian Guzman really could have pile drived into Loney, but he held up a little bit, tried to save him from injuring himself. Belliard, knowing that Christian Guzman has great speed, though, Bob, and that's the speed game you talk about. That's why the Dodgers want for a call and all their fast guys to be healthy, because plays like that are not as easy as you may think.
E4 on Ronnie Belliard, his first error as a Dodger. The tying runs at third base. Willie Harris drove in a run last time. Fastball misses over but low. So the battling Nats are back to within a run again.
3 strikeouts for Belliard and an error tonight.
Good thing he made the play on that line drive by Willingham, or this would be a big inning.
Come on, Willie. Another big 2-out hit.
That's the one Willie Harris has to lay off.
And once again, you go back to Padilla, only going 5 innings on 103 pitches. That gets their bullpen into another game. They have 1 complete game, and this season's almost over.
And you know what's interesting, Rob? According to the stat sheet right now, unless somebody did it who's no longer with the club, that complete game was by Garland when he was in the American League. Unless there's another one that was thrown by someone not on the staff at the moment. Willie Harris ties the game.
Beautiful.
He doesn't go to left field very often, but he does it beautifully there. And the Nats are back even at 6 in the 6th.
Hot Rod is heating up.
Willie Harris, RBIs number 25 and 26 tonight.
Hot Rod, I noticed he drove a different car to the park tonight. Maybe that's the lucky one. Couple of hits. Couple of big 2-out RBI hits, and that ties the ball game. And Joe Torre going to get his pitcher.
Ian Desmond, the due-up, so you figure it'll be the right-hander, Ramon Troncoso. A 1-out walk hurt the Dodgers. A walk in the second hurt the Dodgers, and the Nats are back even.
Love to fish. Take my dog to the dog park all the time. Just hang out with my family. I like to cook sometimes, and just spend time with the family.
Might have to be off camera. Younger brother, they like to take steaks and put them on the grill, and he also said that his dog Bailey is a pit bull that is extremely lovable. We're hoping he'll be a pit bull at the plate right now, Bob.
That would be a good approach, Debbie Taylor. He is a tough out, and I know why he loves to fish. His coach said we're nautical down here. They are the Sailors from Sarasota High School. Here's Ramon Troncoso for the Dodgers. This guy's been very busy this year. 70th appearance. Number 1 on their staff at a good ERA of 2.75. Ian Desmond, 3 strikeouts tonight. We're covering the bases with him. If he gets on base, the Nats would probably take the lead here. Pass ball for a strike high in the zone.
Covering some bases tonight. 2-out hit would give us the lead.
And they changed Kristen Guzman's ground ball to a hit and an RBI. That's going to hurt the Dodgers. That makes those runs earned. So Ronnie Belliart's error taken away.
Big breaking ball right there. Just a little bit out in front.
And Desmond gone with 2 outs. He'll have to run it out. And the inning is over. But the Nats pick up 2 runs that are now earned because of a Guzman base hit.
Nationals, Los Angeles Dodgers, and coming up tomorrow, 7 o'clock on Masson 2, it is Nationals Braves. Javier Vasquez, 14-9, 2.9 earned run average, 222 strikeouts in 204 innings pitched so far this year against John Lennon, 9-12 with a 4.07 earned run average. Coverage begins at 6:30. Nats Extra, hosted by Johnny Holiday, and Ray the Silver Fox Knight is back. Here's the numbers. Wow. So John Lennon and the Nationals have their work cut out for them.
Look at the ERA, the innings, and the strikeouts.
30 starts, 170 hits in 204 innings. Javier Vasquez definitely worth what the Braves had to get him.
5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Tyler Clippard takes over for the Nationals here. His 37th appearance. Upstairs to Matt Kemp.
You talk about throwing strikes. Vasquez only 43 walks in 205 innings. That's impressive.
Kemp lifting one deep to left. Willingham at the track, jumping, and he can't get it. The ball's on the ground. Josh thought it was a home run, and the hitter will stop at third. Willingham never knew where the ball was, and Rob, I think he thought it hit his glove and went over the wall. And Josh having a rough night in left field.
Here's the big boy swinging right here. Matt Kemp wails on this breaking ball or changeup or whatever that off-speed offering was, and it's jammed up against the wall by Josh Willingham. And as you said, Bob, he thought it went over because he jams it up here on the top. Watch. Jams it against the top. He thinks it goes over instead of back behind him. He never saw it come down.
Looks in his glove.
Looks in his glove, and Tyler Clippard is screaming, it's on the ground, it's on the ground. And now Tyler's backing up third.
Then I'm sure Willie Harris was hollering the same thing. Lead run at third, nobody out. And here's Loney, the infield in. That's an 8-foot wall out there that is easily reachable by a leaping outfielder, fully extended. And Josh almost made that play. Kemp's having quite a night. He's a double away from the cycle. He's hit the ball hard 4 times. A lot of padding there, and then some flowers separate the field from the fans. So you can reach up there and pull one back in. But when Josh looked at his glove and didn't see the ball, he thought it had gone out. Pop fly left side, it'll be over the dugout.
Well, and if you're Tyler Clippard right here, now you're thinking, okay, I'm in a jam, man on third. It's like you just got called in. So your job is strike him out, pop him up here on Loney, and then try to get these last 2 outs without the run scoring. You cannot allow them to take the lead if you just came back and tied it up in the bottom half of the 6th inning. This has been a problem for the bullpen all year, is trying to hold leads or trying to keep games right where they are in check.
Pretty good jam job there, and another foul ball.
Pretty decent percentage there. Screech is getting fired up and getting the fans fired up.
He got to wave the W flag last night.
Yes, he did. I'd like to see it a few more times before we go to Atlanta.
One and two to Loney. Clippard gets him on a fastball up and away. Next up will be Ronnie Belliard, who has struck out swinging 3 times.
Well, I think he surprised them here with the heater. He might have been looking off speed, change up maybe. Way behind that fastball.
Next hitter Belliard, then DeWitt. J.A. Happ just singled in a run, and at Milwaukee, the Phillies now lead the Brewers 5-1, top of the 5th. Infield still in.
It's the same type of breaking ball that Kemp hit off the wall. You don't want to keep leaving those sliders and changeups up that high. They're going to get ripped.
Belliard pops it up. Zimmerman not able to reach it. Well, a little earlier tonight we had the no-hitter, the perfect game guy, right, Don Larson. But it was 1956 when he threw that for the Yankees, not 55. So I was 3.5, okay? Thanks to one of our emailers who keep us accountable. Here comes the runner, suicide squeeze, and Belliard fouls him. So the Dodgers took a shot.
Well,
and that's strike 2, and they won't do it again.
And when the Nationals failed, our guys didn't make contact. So right there on the 2-1 pitch, here comes Kemp.
But
at least Belliard made contact. No, that was a horrible attempt. But if you're going to make a horrible attempt, at least foul it off.
Yeah, Belliard really stabbed at that ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Fastball up.
You wanted to.
Didn't miss the top of the strike zone by that much.
2-2. Great high fastball by Tyler Clippard, and everything Ronnie Belliard could do to not swing at it.
You swing at that, it's a strikeout or a pop-up. He takes another and he walks. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. You'd rather do that than throw one down the middle the hitter can work with. And now a double play gets the Nats out of the inning with Blake DeWitt coming up. Tonight's copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Jim Riggleman's had a left-hander ready. Ron Vallone's been warming up recently. DeWitt against the Nats bullpen. Straight ahead. And Jim Riggleman was going to the mound there not to change pitchers, but to discuss defense. And the Dodgers could put a bunt on again here. And DeWitt will pop it up. Zimmerman over. He has room. They would have been better off bunting. 2 outs.
Well, maybe DeWitt thought since he got a visit from the manager and/or pitching coach, he was going to come back with a fastball. Throws him a beautiful 80-mile-an-hour changeup. He gets the pop-up. So now, gotten all the way back, 2 outs, left that guy on 3rd.
And you know, really, when you consider how many times the Dodgers have had the bases loaded in this series and how many men they've had on base, their situational hitting has not been very good. 17 runners stranded the first 2 games, 6 more tonight, and 2 aboard here in the 7th. Strike 1 to Russell Martin. 0 for 2 with an intentional walk, and Ron Vallone's back up.
Well, Jim Thome is standing on deck. If that happens, you would see Vallone, but we're hoping that Russell Martin will go down.
And the Nats would wait for Thome to be announced if that happens.
Two outs, you really don't need to worry about the guys on base. I know they're trying to see if Belliard is going to try to steal second. Hopefully he will try to steal second and get thrown out.
0 and 2.
You're way ahead. Moving dangerously, throwing that changeup. Righty on righty again.
Two on, 2 out, top of the 7th, tie game. And the count 0-2. Clipper jams him. Fly ball center field. Willie Harris right there. And the Dodgers leave 2 more. They have stranded 8 runners on the night. The Nats in the bottom of the inning will have Dunn, Zimmerman, and Willingham coming up. And on this Thursday night, we're going to have a special presentation.
Once again, from the United States Air Force, Master Sergeant Janice Carl.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Busy ball game, 6-6. Nats and the Dodgers 7th inning stretch. Matt Kemp, huge night. And he has a chance for the cycle tonight. Alberto Gonzalez, 3 hits, great approaches at the plate, and the Nats haven't been able to stop Rafael Furcal. But the end result is this is the 5th game of the year between these 2 clubs. This is the rubber game of the season series, and the Nats are battling the best team in the league blow by blow right here.
And I like it a lot. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you want to see if you're Jim Riggleman and the franchise, because you're trying to keep a team not just from clinching, getting closer to clinching the division. You're trying to play and measure up against one of the teams that's possibly going to the playoffs, and I think they're doing a great job. The bullpen's holding their own right now against a very hot-hitting team. This is one of the best scoring clubs in baseball, and we've put 6 runs up again on this ball club. A very good pitching staff that's got the best statistics in the National League. So the Washington Nationals playing a great game. Hopefully they'll hold on and win this ball game. But I think, you know, being down 4-0 in the first inning, they're showing a lot of heart tonight, and it just shows you what Jim Riggleman and his staff have instilled in this club, not quitting with about 2 weeks to go in the season.
I think it also indicates that when your leadoff man does damage with the bat, it just picks up the whole offense, and Willie Harris has a pair of RBI singles. He's not scoring runs tonight, but he's driven in a couple.
Yeah, Willie Harris doing a great job. Alberto Gonzalez doing a fantastic job at the bottom half of the order. 3 for 3 tonight. Some big hits tonight. A huge sacrifice bunt last night. So the top and the bottom getting it done for the Nationals the last 2 nights.
3, 4, and 5 for the Nationals. Bottom of the 7th. Adam Dunn, Ryan Zimmerman, Josh Willingham. Adam is hitless tonight. Fastball away. Way inside, 3-0. And if he sees a fastball anywhere near the strike zone, I'm sure Adam Dunn has the green light if he so chooses.
I doubt he will. You saw Ian Desmond get nothing but breaking balls.
Yeah.
And Trancoso came in and ended last inning's rally.
He goes with a sinker that misses. And the Nats receiving their 5th walk of the night. You can shop the official online shop of the Nationals, nationals.com. Largest online selection of authentic team gear, including caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the nationals.com shop. Zimmerman 0 for 1 with 2 walks.
Well, Bob, you said it a few innings ago, one of the reasons Riggleman putting Dunn in front of Zimmerman is on base percentage. He gets the big walk right there. Now you got Zim coming up.
Ryan gets under that one. It'll stay in the park for Manny Ramirez. First out, bottom 7.
Pitch is down right here by Trancoso. Moving fastball. Right at the end, it moves in on his hands. So you can get tied up. Pop that up to Manny.
And to the strains of Sweet Home Alabama, Josh Willingham steps in.
Come on, Hammer.
Well, as it turns out, the play up against the wall last inning did not hurt. Thanks to the work of Clippard getting out of that inning. The Nats have really frustrated the Dodgers. 25 runners stranded in 25 innings in this series.
When you see Josh wanting Pat Listash to run through the signs again, makes sure he knows what's going on with Adam Dunn over at first.
This could be a costly night and a costly series for the Dodgers. The Phillies are now ahead at Milwaukee 8-1. And if the Nats can get this game and the Phillies win, they'll only be 2 up over the Phillies. 2 ahead of St. Louis and Philadelphia in the win column. And the Nats battling well here against the team with the best record in the league. Quite a battle in Detroit tonight. 6-3. Pardon me, at Cleveland for the Tigers. 6-3, 8th inning there. They're trying to take a 3-game lead over Minnesota.
Josh being very patient, recognizing or the pitch recognition of that huge breaking ball that I'm sure Ian Desmond didn't see a lot of those at the lower levels. Actually, one of the better ones we've seen here as of late, coming from Troncoso.
85 feet of hitting room through the right side of the infield. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good take by Josh on a pitch low. Not a fast runner at first, and a hitter with 95 strikeouts. It would be pretty courageous of Jim Riggleman to do something with the runner here and 1 out. He'd have to be sure Willingham makes contact. Dunn running. Willingham does make contact, and maybe that keeps the Nats out of the double play. And a great scoop by Loney on a very wide throw by Blake DeWitt. 2 outs. It'll be up to Elijah Dukes with a runner in scoring position. Johnny Holiday, Phil Wood, Nats Extra, presented by Verizon Fios. Lots of offense in this one tonight. They'll talk about it. So will the manager after the game. Javier Vazquez, John Lennon. Really good pitching matchup tomorrow night.
Elijah Dukes has been swinging a hot bat, so they will put him on with 4 pitches.
That's okay. Alberto Gonzalez is seeing the ball well tonight, isn't he? Dodgers have the number 9 spot up in the 8th. It could be Jim Thome, so Ron Vallone's ready for that. Alberto Gonzalez tonight, an RBI hit to right, a scratch hit, and he pulled one through the infield. Rob, he's using the field tonight.
Well, he's swinging down on the ball so well. The first hit was a shot line drive. Second one, swinging bunt. Blake DeWitt had no play on, and then the third one is shot in the hole. All of that because of the short compactness of his swing.
Gonzalez has already driven in his 30th run tonight. A little chopper left side, right to the bag. DeWitt, inning over. Nationals lead 2. They've left 7 to the 8th inning in a 6-6 game. Make a double switch. Clippard gone, Vallone on the way, and Rob Dibble, a good job by Clippard dealing with a 7th inning when Matt Kemp was on third base with nobody out.
Well, Tyler gave up that shot by Matt Kemp. He had to come back. 92-mile-an-hour fastball by Loney. Great changeup to Blake DeWitt. Zim pulls it in. And then an even better fastball to Russell Martin. And he softly flies out to center. So Tyler Clippert dodging a bullet. And then he gets lifted for the lefty-on-lefty matchup here with Ron Ballone. Jim Thome.
So the situation thickening here in the 8th inning. And Debbie Taylor, there was a nice activity before the ball game today involving a Nat and a Dodger.
That's right, Bob. Willie Harris joining Dodgers infielder Orlando Hudson before the game on Orlando's 9th Around the Mound tour visit. Now, the Dodgers second baseman is trying to encourage African-American kids to choose baseball over other sports, and both players also encouraged the kids that they met with to get an education. And it's really interesting, the numbers. 69 African-American players on active MLB rosters today. That's a pretty low number, Bob.
Well, and I know Willie is interested in that. And Orlando Hudson, by the way, he lives in Darlington, South Carolina, where he went to high school, and he works with autistic children in the state of South Carolina. So Orlando has a heart for kids, no matter what their circumstance, and that's a great thing to see two guys competing with each other, getting together today to send a very strong message to kids they care about. Jim Thome in this series, 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter. Jim Thome, 23 home runs this year with the White Sox. 564 in his career. A swing and a foul as he goes up hacking. Not that time, Levon. They've seen each other in the American League before.
Well, a study back in 2008 in April said that African Americans finally, over the last 20 years, the percentage has risen from 8.2% to 10.2%. After in the 80s, Bob, it was up around 28 to 34% of major leaguers were African American. Here's the thing, though. All the academies down in the Latin American countries, they're up to 28 to 34% of Latin Americans in the major leagues. So the RBI program, the inner city programs, trying to get African Americans involved more.
Adam Dunn puts that one away. Jim Thome done in the top of the 8th inning. Well, Willie Harris, the pride of Cairo, Georgia. So a Georgia guy and a South Carolina guy, Harris and Hudson, getting together to send a wonderful message to the kids.
Well, and some other players too. Torrey Hunter, I know CC Sabathia, they're giving money back to the inner cities to try to build up this program. It's a program that was started 20 years ago by Faye Vincent, by the way, to try to revitalize the inner city programs. Major League Baseball donates millions of dollars to these different programs. I know there's one in South Central LA. Now they're starting to Elijah Dukes is a product of the RBI program.
That ball hit by Furcal, right center. Willie Harris can only watch it sail over the scoreboard, and the Nationals cannot get Rafael Furcal out. 4 for 5 tonight, 10 for 14 in this series. Dodgers lead 7-6. Guys with single digits home runs aren't supposed to hit it that hard to the opposite field.
Well, he has hit as many as 15 home runs. Wow. At the major league level a few years ago with the Atlanta Braves, and he just gets a 90-mile-an-hour fastball away. He gets the best part of the bat on it, and launches it to right center field. Not an easy home run for a middle infield shortstop that's not supposed to have that kind of power.
No cheap home runs in this ballpark, especially out there. Now Furcal, of course, a switch hitter, so Vallone was going lefty versus righty there. Unbelievable. When Rafael Furcal and the Dodgers came to town on Tuesday night, he was hitting .257. He's now up into the .270 range with an amazing 3-game performance here.
Well, he's an excellent player, was given a huge contract to come back to Los Angeles. Or actually come as a free agent. They've spent a lot of money on this ball club.
Ron Vallone gets a strike on a foul ball by Andre Ethier.
Fave Vincent 20 years ago called it the 20-year fix, reviving baseball in the inner cities.
And Vallone can't get that one, but Desmond can. Look how quickly he got rid of that ball. And Rob, when that ball went through, I thought it was in center field. He showed tremendous range right there.
We got lucky. It hit the mound, took an extra bounce, and that extra bounce slows it down enough right here. You'll see it hit the mound, that bounce, then another bounce, or else that's a base hit up the middle. So Andre Ethier crushes this ball. Bang, 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 and Desmond picks it up and makes a great play.
Jim Riggleman going to make another change here with Manny Ramirez announced. And I thought I saw Logan Kensing in the shadows out there with Manny coming up in the 8th. Baseball on NASN brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your next trip at southwest.com. And by McDonald's, up early, so are we. McDonald's is open 5 a.m. or earlier. I'm loving it at participating McDonald's. Beautiful night in our nation's capital. Thursday, September 24th, 8th inning. Ball game in progress for well over 3 hours. More changes in the offing. Willie Harris to left field. Batting 9th and playing center, Justin Maxwell. And then the pitcher batting 5th, Logan Kensing, against Manny Ramirez. Was that his changeup, 88 breaking ball?
Slider.
I know you love this kid's arm.
Yeah, he's got a great arm. He figures it out. He will figure prominently in the bullpen next year.
Right in there, 0-2. Manny's only had 2 hits in the series, but he's driven in 2 runs. 2 for 10 overall. It's for Kyle and Kemp that have been the Dodger damage doers in this series.
I'd like to see him do more of that. You're going to get beat with 96, get beat, make Manny Ramirez take you deep to right field. If not, blow this guy away. He's got that kind of arm. He's got such movement, though, with the short arm action that it actually is like a 2-seam fastball, comes back over the plate.
By the way, we were talking about the complete games earlier tonight. Eric Stoltz, former Dodger draftee, no longer on the staff. He has that complete game Rob was talking about. It'll be interesting to see how deep their starters go into playoff games. Facing that guy, they pitch a lot longer.
How did Manny get up there? Oh, he's at the plate.
What happens to adults when they walk into the ballpark? Pretty good 0-2 pitch. Just a nasty slider down and away. Padres have picked up a run, but they still trail the Rockies 3-1, top of the 7th at Coors Field. Colorado trying to keep on winning to secure the wild card, but maybe give the Dodgers a challenge for the West. George Sherrill's been up and throwing quite a while. He's ready when they need him. 1-2 to Manny, bases empty, 2 outs.
The breaking ball down and away.
Jimmy Rollins, by the way, hit his 20th home run of the year tonight. In that Phillies game, they lead 8-2 in the 6th at Milwaukee, trying to win their 89th game and knock their magic number down to 5. Braves are off tonight, so are the Marlins. Three and 2.
Maybe that's not really his hair. Maybe that's a wig. Maybe he bought one of his own little great merchandising things.
Great disguise.
Yeah.
Leaves the ballpark, nobody would know him without it. 3-2 from Kensing. Missing with a fastball. Manny's on for the 3rd time tonight. And the Nationals have issued 5 walks. The Dodgers 6. Look out here, Matt Kemp. You know, interesting thing about that ball he hit at Willingham earlier tonight that Josh lost in the lights. If it hadn't hit him in the glove, he'd already have the cycle. Homer in the 1st, single in the 3rd, that drive in the 5th, and a triple in the 7th. And Orlando Hudson had one this year against the Giants. Cycle on this at bat. Justin Maxwell in center. The Dodgers will take the lead on Rafael Furcal's home run and lead it 7-6 after 7.5. 877-876. Potomac Nationals taking reservations for season tickets, many plans for next year. Check it out. Reserve your seats. PotomacNationals.com, 703-590-2311. George Sherrill came into the game in the 8th inning last night. Guzman and Dunn had hits against him. Elijah Dukes had a ground ball to drive in a run. And the Nats were just a little bit closer in that eventual 5-4 win. And Rob, I thought you did a nice job of explaining the acquisition of George Sherrill for the Dodgers when you already have Jonathan Broxton in your bullpen.
Well, you can never have enough relief. You can never have enough solid pitching. They have plenty of guys right-handed that can throw 95. They don't have too many guys that are like George Sherrill that can throw strikes, come at the lefties. And you don't want to wear out Jonathan Broxton if you go to the postseason either.
Jamie Burke, the catcher, leading off. 0 for 2 with a sac fly. Maxwell already in the game on deck. And then Willie Harris.
Quo, he throws 95. Elbert's not going to probably make the postseason roster, so really Sherrill's your only lefty that throws like that.
And Burke gets under that one, short left center. Manny on the way, 1 out. Justin Maxwell was one of the big reasons the Nats won that game last night.
Well, he starts it off with a base hit after the sacrifice bunt by Alberto Gonzalez. Steals third because he knew McDonald from the minor leagues was slow to the plate. So that set up the game-winning fly ball to right field to score Maxwell. But give that kid, he's a very smart kid. He remembered something from the minor leagues, and you can never have too much knowledge.
Maxwell with that base hit got his average to 234. And Sherrill misses with 2. And he gets under that one to center. Matt Kemp. 2 outs. Next up, Willie Harris, 2 for 4 tonight with a pair of 2-out RBI singles. 22,432 at the ballpark tonight. The Nationals came into this series in average attendance 24th of the 30 teams in Major League Baseball. 3 teams in this league behind them: Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Florida. And in the American League, Kansas City, Cleveland, and how far have they fallen the last couple of years, and Oakland with lower average attendance than the Nats.
Before Boston overtook the old record set by the people at Jacobs Field and the Indians, I think they had about 450 something sellouts in a row. Mid-90s to into the 2000s, they were the team.
I think it's a tribute to our fans, though. Worst record in baseball. It's been that way for the first couple weeks of the season. And the Nationals are beating 6 other teams in average attendance. Nobody ever writes about that.
Oh, no.
Thank you, folks, for your rally caps, your curly W's, and your binoculars. We're glad they're all here. 1-1 to Harris. He showed bunt, took a fastball inside. 2-1.
Well, I think it also proves to Major League Baseball that putting a franchise back in Washington was a good idea.
And when the wins come, so will the folks. 3-1.
I heard Tim Kirkchin on with Charlie Slows on the radio side for the Nationals before the game, talking about, and he's from this area, he thinks in the next couple of years the Nationals will be winning, and he thinks this is a very good organization and a good franchise as far as down in the minor league level, but gonna have to also spend some money. Even though the Dodgers have drafted great players, they sprinkle in some talent via free agency and also in the trade.
Well, attendance and revenue enable you to do those things.
But you got to win to get over the 3 million and 4 million mark.
Well, just take my media guide, hit me over the head after saying Ian Desmond had made great contact this year. 5 strikeouts and 36 at bats, and tonight he's 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. Doesn't mean he still can't do some damage here in the 8th inning.
Hey, turn your 0 for 4 into a 1 for 5.
And do some damage with it in a 1-run game. Dodgers have out hit the Nats 9-8, lead 7-6, bottom of the 8th. They're playing Desmond deep, makes those gaps look even bigger. Good speed at first. Willie was nailed trying to steal, ending the 4th inning.
You talk about Jamie Berg. George Sherrill played years of independent baseball to get his shot. The Mariners signed him, and the Mariners traded him in a 5-for-1 deal. He brought Eric Bedard up to the Mariners and 5 players to the Orioles. The Orioles turn around and trade Sherrill again to the Dodgers. Get even more players.
Willie Harris, what a jump. Don't even bother to throw. Tying runs at second base.
He heard you talking about nobody can steal a base since Nigel Morgan left and injured.
Number 11 for Willie. And of course Desmond, Maxwell swiped 3rd last night.
You got to take a chance on a lefty. First movement, breaks that front leg off the dirt. You got to take off and
base hit. Come on, Willie. Here comes Harris. Ethier's throw. They're going to get him. And this ball game goes into the 9th inning with the Dodgers still ahead 7-6. With 2 outs, you take your shot. You make him throw it perfectly. Ethier did. Ethier made one of the best accurate throws we've seen this year, and a really good at bat by Ian Desmond.
This is a great at bat by Desmond. You're 0 for 4 punch outs off of one of the best left-handed relievers in the game, and then Andre Ethier comes up firing. He had 4 assists. And he throws a perfect strike, but you got to send the runner. 2 outs, may not get another shot at scoring this run right here. And then a great job also by Russell Martin holding onto the ball. This is a great play by everybody.
Yeah, home plate was blocked off. All Willie could do was collide with the catcher. Puts that shoulder into him.
Well, I'm glad if he tries to slide even feet first, he probably gets injured because of the leverage that Russell Martin had waiting for him.
Top of the ninth.
It's a good play all the way around.
Logan Kensing still in the game. Loney, Belliard, and DeWitt. 5, 6, and 7 for the Dodgers. Dodgers probably licking their chops last week when they looked at this schedule, knowing they were coming here for 3 and then going to Pittsburgh to play 4 starting tomorrow night.
Yep, they're getting everything and then some from the Nationals.
You just finished my thought for me, buddy. You know exactly what we're saying.
You know what? The Pirates are no pushovers, and I'll tell you, in the American League Central, the Kansas City Royals have been hurting on everybody so far this month. They're not going away easy.
Yeah, and then Cleveland helps out by losing 10 in a row, including tonight, make it 11. They battled back but lost to the Tigers 6-5.
We got a guy there.
Willie Harris for the first out. By the way, the Dodgers played those 4 in Pittsburgh. They go to San Diego for 2. They have an off day next Thursday. Guess who's coming to dinner for the final 3 games of the year? The Colorado Rockies.
Lovely.
That'll be interesting if the Rocks can gain another game or 2. Their ball game tonight's in the top of the 7th. They still lead the Padres 3-1 on that Troy Tulowitzki homer back in the first inning. And I just spoke too fast. The Padres just scored in the top of the 7th, and the Rockies are into their bullpen. It's 3-2 over San Diego. Javier Vasquez, John Lannon tomorrow night. Nats Extra 6:30. Ray Knight makes a dramatic return to the ballpark.
I think we should get some banana cream pies and wait for him. What do you think?
Tommy Hanson and Mock on Saturday, and then Mr. Sinker Derek Lowe against Levon on Sunday. Hey Ray, how you doing?
We gotta get Johnny Holiday too.
Yeah. I'm sure Johnny has a prank in mind before the season's over. Swing and a miss by Belliard, who has struck out 3 times and walked tonight.
I'm still waiting for my Johnny Holiday tour of the White House, if Johnny's listening.
He's taking everybody else over there.
Yeah, I know. Promised me that, what, back in January. Kidding. A couple of months ago, though, and when you took 3 days off.
Belliard rips it, breaks his bat, and foul. It's 10:30 in our nation's capital.
Already?
3 hours and 25 minutes of baseball. Top of the 9th inning. Dodgers 7, Nationals 6. Bob, Rob, and Debbie here on Masson HD tonight. The Braves are in tomorrow evening for 3. The Mets for 3. On to Atlanta for 4. And as Rob Dibble says, the day after the season, then you can go back to choosing your own friends.
Yep, you can make your own friends in 2 weeks.
For now, we're stuck with each other. 1 and 2. You've been a great friend, Rob. It's been great having you come in here this year.
You're going to miss me.
Where are you going?
Nowhere.
Oh, I know. You're going.
Who's going to be cracking you up every night for 3 hours?
I don't know. My cracked ribs will take a while to heal after working with you for 6 months.
So you thought the nasty boy was just going to come in here and be mean and nasty all year.
Yeah. Well, the last time I was around a nasty boy, I got a pie in the face. Thanks to your buddy Norm Charlton.
See, that's a guy with too many smarts. 3 degrees from Rice University, always thinking of something else to do.
To aggravate people.
That's right.
2-2 to Belliard.
Nice.
A little pop up to the right side of the infield for Alberto Gonzalez. 2 outs. 1 more out to get, and things will be interesting in the bottom of the 9th. The Nationals have 3, 4, and 5 due up. Dunn, Zimmerman, and then the pitcher spot. And big, strong Jonathan Broxton is warming for the Dodgers. He has 35 saves.
And the Royals took 2 out of 3 from the White Sox, 2 out of 3 from the Tigers, and 2 out of 3 so far from the Red Sox. They have 1 more. I think it's 5-0 in the 6th inning, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
Let's see, then they get the Royals have to play the Twins, the Yankees, and then the Twins. So they have to play spoiler.
Base hit right field. Well hit by Blake DeWitt.
He's going to. Nope.
Tigers will still be in Cleveland. For the weekend.
Say you were the Royals. This is hypothetical, of course. And you had a shot to go to the playoffs as, say, a wild card team. You got to face the Red Sox and Yankees in the last week of the season. That's not fair.
Well, that's what happens because the East has 5 teams. Somebody has to play outside the division. And then the Royals are in the Central, which also has 5 teams. The only division in that league that is symmetrical is the West. You can go head to head every night and stay inside the division. That's like the National League Central. That's why the East is playing the West right now.
I think we need to bring in 2 more teams and go 16-16.
Yeah, 2 more American League teams, huh?
Even it out.
Where would you put those teams? A lot of people talk about Vegas being an untapped baseball market with a dome. They'd have to have a dome stadium.
It's hot in the summertime there.
Well, where else would you go?
We also talk about Portland. It's been a great place to have AAA teams.
But of course, the Seattle Mariners consider Portland sort of their territory. It's about a 3-hour drive down Interstate 5 out there. And of course, we've been down that road with the Orioles and the Nationals coming in here as far as one team.
They've talked about Mexico City. Take it into Mexico.
Please put a dome stadium there. And a breaking ball low and away.
I don't know, Paris, France.
That's a long way to go for 3 games.
That's okay. Make it a week.
It's
a week schedule when you go over there.
Doug Minkiewicz is waiting to hit in the pitcher spot for the Dodgers if the inning goes that far.
As much fun as they'd have over there, that team might win 60, 65 home games.
That's a great idea because then when they come back, make them stop here. They'll be worn out and the Nats will love it. Kensing having a hard time getting ready here. There's a ball on the field way out on the left. Russell Martin 0 for 3 tonight with a walk and a count of 2-2.
This was not 95, it was 85. Looks like a slider that doesn't break, but tell that to Russell Martin.
And you know, hitters are taught. What you just saw there was textbook.
Right.
Hitters are taught, first thing you do, turn your head away from the ball.
Right.
And Russell Martin did just that.
Well, that's what always scares me when guys throw behind the players.
3-2, DeWitt will be moving. And Martin hits one left field. Long way to go for Willie Harris. He's there. And this ball game's going to the bottom of the 9th inning. Dodgers lead 7-6. Dunn, Zimmerman, and then the pitcher spot coming up. The president picks up the red phone, it rings Johnny Holiday's stuff. Now that's an important man. Bottom of the 9th inning, Jonathan Broxton, all 6'4", 294 of him, 25 years of age, 14 saves last year for the Dodgers, 35 this year.
We talked about the bottom half of Chad Billingsley, ×2 on Broxton. This kid is built for power and speed. He's got all of it. Once again, a product of their draft system in their minor leagues.
He's converted his last 10 save opportunities. Last time he failed to save a ball game 1 month and 9 days ago at Arizona. And Rafael Furcal, who else gets the 4th drive of the game?
4th drive of the game. Got a middle infielder under the height of 6 feet tall with a lot of pop the other way off a Ron Valone fastball. So the 4th drive of the game goes to Rafael Furcal.
Power matchup here, Broxton and Dunn.
Look out. Wow. That was 96 turned around.
Nick Hundley of San Diego has hit a home run. And the Padres and the Rockies are now tied 3-3 at Coors Field, 7th inning.
Padres have played well in the last couple of weeks, last month.
They've moved 4 games
since the
All-Star
break. Because when we were out there, they were talking about that.
If the Nats don't turn it around here, it could be a very good night for the Dodgers. Dunn pulls another one.
You see the Ks per 9 innings since 2005. Wow. He is a legit upper 90s pitcher. You just have to look at his statistics to know that.
Adam Dunn 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. He gets jammed. It's between the fielders. A slide and a very good play. That's the 3rd baseman, Blake DeWitt, out there in a second base position. So that goes 5-3 on the right side of the infield.
Well, it almost looked like they were going to put DeWitt at second when they brought back Casey Blake, but then they went out and got Orlando Hudson. Right there, the 3rd baseman turned second baseman on the Exmo. You see him taking the slide. That stops him. He's able to get up and make a perfect strike over to first base. Now, Belliard fields that. It's probably a base hit. So give DeWitt a lot of credit for cutting that ball off.
Next up, Ryan Zimmerman. He goes up hacking. Left side cut off. It's DeWitt again. He's everywhere. 2 outs. And it'll be up to Pete Orr.
That was the good slider by Broxton. You expect 100 and you get the 91 with movement. It's not that easy. Square it up and Zim hit it on the ground.
Pete Orr, as a pinch hitter, has been good. 3 for 5, 2 RBIs.
That got Jerry Crawford in the leg. I don't think that Russell Martin got a glove on it.
Outside corner.
99.
No way to get around on that.
99. See 99 on the pitch track. Try and hit that. Left his hand. It was in the glove.
Pete Orr late for that one. 1-2. And the Dodgers a pitch away from winning the series and their 92nd game of the year. Dukes if the inning continues. Opponents hitting 160 against Broxton this year.
Los Angeles 27-20 in 1-run affairs. Nationals not bad, 18-23. Gotten much better in 1-run games.
Well, recent 1-run wins against the Phillies here at New York, and last night against the Dodgers. Two-2 pitch to Pete Orr, who won the game for the Nats last night. Ball 3. And here's the thing: if Pete Orr can get on base, he's very fast, and Jonathan Broxton is very slow to home plate. Pete Orr might be off and running on the first pitch if he can get aboard here in the ninth. I mean, what do you have to lose?
I couldn't agree with you more. You're just hoping for Broxton to put somebody on right here.
3-2 pitch. And the pitcher knocks it down. A hot shot on an eyelash play at first base. The game is over, and the Dodgers win the ball game 7-6, and they take 2 of 3 from the Nats in this series.
Well, it's a shot back to Broxton. He knocks it down like McDougal did the other night. Step and throw. Game over for the Dodgers, but a heck of a game for the Nationals, not quitting after being down, Bob, 4-0 in the first inning.
Yeah, after what, 11 pitches in the game, it was 4-0. For Rob